Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy, do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
They got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughened him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
I understand. Likely offense will continue, but if he finished peeing, that offense is not going to continue for a while.
I was kicked back, taking it easy.
You especially won't go to court if it's bullshit charges because you get them thrown out. By gosh, go down and fight them. By gosh, make them work for it.
All righty. Good morning. Welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict. Good Friday Eve. Good Friday Eve to you. That's better be Friday Eve. Had to check the calendar. Yes, it is Friday Eve. Welcome. Happy Thursday, everyone. That won't change anything. Let's use that one. Okay. Whew. All right. Apologize for being late. Trying to get everybody going with their school dissections. It's dissection day in science. And I have one rule. When it comes to dissection day in science, and that is we don't do it in our house. That's the rule. No dissections in our house. The formaldehyde is just too much. All right, welcome. I'm mostly awake. All right, we have. Oh man, a few of you are dealing with snow. And I apologize because it is. Well, it's a little chilly outside, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful here in North Carolina. Sorry about that. I just rolled the dice, and that's what we came up with. First of all, I want to give a big shout out to Granny 13. Good morning. Why am I so small in the corner? You think I would have had plenty of time to get everything fixed, right? There, I'm feeling better. Good morning, Granny 13. I have a little bit of a bad memory, so I'm not sure if you have ever committed this offense before, but this morning you were first in chat. You broke the law. You broke the silence, and first person to talk in chat. The first person who does that is punished, is sentenced with internet ownership for the rest of the day, at least until we go live again. And so I'm not sure if you knew that was what the law was and you intentionally meant to break it. If so, you deserve what's coming to you, or if you were completely ignorant of the existing law, in which case ignorance is no excuse and you deserve what's coming to you anyway. But you own the internet for at least this morning. Granting to 13, congratulations. If you want to commemorate this wondrous occasion, you can head over to the merchandise page, and for the low fee of 50 cents, you can purchase your own certificate commemorating your offense. Thank you. Good to have all of you here. I apologize for being late. I do apologize. Wallflower, wow, a birthday, Valentine's on 12 months plus one. I wasn't a member 1 month. Wallflower, thank you very much. You're in orange now. You're in orange, and it looks good on you, if I say so myself. Let's see. We've got Katie. Welcome to the gallery. Thank you very much. It looks like at least 3 months of support there. I can't tell how much on my screen. For some reason, it doesn't show sometimes. 4 inches of snow in Thurston County. This is what I'm worried about, Tumwater Troy. Our court may be delayed. We have yesterday still to go over, so we're going to have at least jury selection and opening statements today. We've got that ready to go. It's all queued up. Let's see, where do I have that? Oh, it's over here. Okay. Let's see. Scroll up from my message, says Vicky. Hang on. Vicky, I'm scrolling. Mailed you the before of Judge Simpson's thing yesterday. Thank you. I was able to get it as well, so that was fortunate, and I think it's still available. It's out there. Judge Simpson's. Oh, never mind. Thank you. I didn't have that one.
Somebody just sent me a video of roaches fighting.
Someone just sent me a video.
I don't know who won.
Vicky, thank you very much. Judge Boyd still doesn't know who won the roach fight. Let's see. If I'm not sure if we have any birthdays today. Let's see. Checking in on other Kansas City folks. I didn't go to the parade yesterday, but a ton of my friends did. Lucky none of them were hurt. Shout out Big shout out to the heroes at the Kansas City parade, the individuals who saw at least one of the shooters and instead of running from it, ran to and tackled him and held him till police showed up. That was awesome. That is just cool. Props out to them. That is amazing. They should get like a lifetime, great seats to the game. Martha Ivy, happy birthday to all our birthday folks. I'm looking for the birthday message. Just one second, I will find it. There it is. Boom. Right here. So we're going to celebrate a birthday, and then we're going to play a little bit of a video that I got back from a FOIA request yesterday, and we'll have to talk about that. Don't let me forget the FOIA request. Let's see. Birthday songs today. Well, the song's the same every day, but birthday today, the names, Susan Bartlett, Elena, and Rachel all have birthdays today, and Cindy Snyder is celebrating 13 years of sobriety. Cindy, congratulations. I'm not saying Susan, Elena, and Rachel, that your day is not as big a celebration. That is huge. But Cindy, oh my goodness, wow, 13 years. That is wonderful. Congratulations. Thank you so much for sharing that. There's the sound again. What did I forget? Buffer's not working for birthdays. I could hear it. Hey Sharon, I'm not sure. You might be delayed on the feed. You might be, when you hear this, you might want to check and see if you're up to current in the moment. You might be a little delayed because it's working on my end at least. Okay. So we're going to sing to Susan, Elena, and Rachel. And congratulations, by the way, Cindy, but you're not in the birthday list, unfortunately. We'll wait till it's your birthday. Everybody join with me in singing to Susan, Elena, and Rachel, who deserve a little bit of recognition today for their survival. One more year. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Susan, Elena, and Rachel. Happy birthday to you. I heard this 6 volt. I'm like, who is doing the voice of Grover? No, that's Ernie. Happy birthday to you. I don't remember. Which one's Bert?
Bert, Ernie, I think you sang the song wrong. You were supposed to sing happy birthday to you, and you said happy birthday to you.
That's as best I can do in a Sesame Street impersonation. Please don't clip that. Anybody, please don't clip that. Katie, welcome to the gallery. I think we got you already, but if we didn't, we did just now. And then also famous Amos 74, welcome to the gallery. Brand new member. Are you guys buffering? Why buffer on a day like today? It's going great. Bert's the taller one. This is Rudy. Bert's the taller one. Ernie's the short one. Michelle's Media. Clip it and someone get some video of Bert and Ernie. I sounded like Bob Dylan, not like Sesame Street. I don't do voiceovers, probably for this reason. Okay, Tumwater Troy from Portside. Thurston County office is on a 2-hour delayed opening due to delays in cleaning parking lots and sidewalks. Thurston County offices will be opening 2 hours late today. Now, this is a problem only for us because Thurston County is they're practically on the other side of the world for all intents and purposes. They are on the other side of the world. Let me finish the birthday celebration of Tumwater Troy. We'll come back to this, and then we'll do all the other things that I said I was going to do. We realize that today's your special day, and this is your birthday. There are a million places you could be where people, and probably at least a million people, at least a million people, as the lawyer said in Judge Boyd's trial, at least a million people who have seen that it's your birthday and want to celebrate it with you. But you choose to be here with us, and that is not lost on me. I appreciate you sharing your special day with us, and hopefully we can make it a little bit more special. So thank you very much. Help yourself to the free pancakes at Denny's. Let's see, the Tumwater Troy, the opening. Thurston County is on the other side of the world. Well, it's on the other side of the country, but it might as well be on the other side of the world because it's like several time zones away, which means they start about the time we go to lunch. So if they wait 2 hours to start, we won't start until very late. That's all I've got. But it's gonna be very late. So we could, in theory, we could start our recorded yesterday's proceedings after lunch and still not miss the live when they open. That's how messed up it is. Well, luckily we have a couple other things to talk about. Not much, but a few. We're going to go there. I will tell you that on Tumwater Troy, thank you for the update. I appreciate that. Having somebody on the ground who knows the ropes, so to speak, the area, it is so useful. I appreciate that. BG gifted a membership. Thank you very much, BG. Let's see. Oh no, Kathy, I was so busy this morning. I have not seen what you did. But you mentioned me. Hopefully it was all good things. I'm sure it was. I can't wait to find out what that was. And I'll be curious until I'm able to watch. Yes, FOIA request. Let's go to the FOIA request. Let me tell you. There was a video that was released by a couple other news stations and channels that we all watch of a police chase yesterday. And I'm like, I need a clean copy of that. I could not find a clean copy. So I just went to the source and did a FOIA request and said, I'll wait for my copy to come in. It might have taken 20 minutes. Now, just realize, most places when you're filling out a FOIA request, it takes more than 20 minutes to fill out. They had an online form. The city of Dayton, Ohio had an online form that I could fill out and submit, and the response was back with the attached video file in 20 minutes. They had 2 weeks to respond, and they got it in 20 minutes. So all I can say is thank you. Wow, props to them. It was incredible. But the flip side of that is they just gave me the highlight reel. I didn't get the full thing. And now I don't know if I want to go back and get the rest. You guys have probably seen this. It was released just the other day. Let's see, it's on the computer over here. How many computers do we have? Many. We're good. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to play this little video right here, which begins, and I'll have to explain this because it's going to cut a little bit. We are watching from our car. We're watching this officer right up here whose face is blacked out because I think he's an undercover. We're watching him throw stop sticks from his trunk over here into the oncoming lane, the fast lane of this freeway. Once the truck that they are trying to stop passes, we're going to jump to the second car back in the chase going the other direction. And then we're going to see the resulting crash. Minute and 40 seconds is all we got on this one. So that's the orientation. I will warn you, I think there's some shots fired in here, but it cuts off. They gave me the bare minimum. I mean, if I probably worded the request wrong. I probably should have said, I also want video of the arrest and everything else, so they wouldn't just cut it as soon as the chase ended. But here we go. Oh, yeah. Up with the trunk. There goes the green bus.
Hey, let West Cruz know that he's past the connector.
Here he comes. Here comes the truck. Good throw. Boom. Those were the shots fired.
He's got a shotgun and a high-powered rifle in the vehicle.
Now we're joining behind the chase. Shots fired. Might have just been the tire that exploded. See from the little bits of debris on the road that his tires are shredded.
We gonna hit this shit or what? Not when the gun's involved. Someone's coming up on the left. Dude.
And that's where they thought that my FOIA request ask ended. This is as far as I would want to see in this pursuit. Oh my goodness. So chase is over. Let me give you the update. The officer underneath that truck was injured, but I believe he's survived and is on the mend. This happened obviously back in the beginning of the year, right? Like a week into the new year. It looks like it was intentional, at least it appears that way. The driver of the vehicle had at previous times displayed a shotgun and a rifle out of his truck. This is in, I got this video from Dayton, Ohio. I should have asked for the Wish version. Anyway, the gentleman, I believe shots were fired after this fact, and then they dragged him out. I think he had some perforation issues that had to be mended, and he survived as well. There were no fatalities here. There was one officer, if we can look, if I can rewind this just a little bit, right back here. This officer who's standing in the middle of the road, she was standing right next to her patrol car, and it got smacked, and it spun, and it just about hit her. Just missed her within inches. So it totaled 2 patrol cars, as you can see over there, both in smoke. Anyway, they got him. They got him. So that's, we live in Dayton, didn't hear about this. Ohio, Stephanie, let me just tell you, Dayton, the city of Dayton has an amazing request. They call it, they don't call it a FOIA request. Everyone has different words for it. They call it a public record request. And you go to City of Dayton OH.nextrequest.com, and I'm not sure if that was it. Well, that's where I went. So beautiful. And they'll let you like search other people's requests and grab their videos as well. So fun stuff there. Thank you, City of Dayton, Ohio, for sending at least part of what I wanted. That was good. You want to replay? Hang on. Let's do it one more time. We're just going to do the beginning and the end. We're going to skip the chase in the middle, but we'll run a replay for you. First is the stop sticks.
Hey, let Westcruz know that he's past the connector. Gordon, he's warming up on it.
Yeah, he shot at the car before he hit it.
Got a shotgun and a high-powered rifle in the vehicle.
Guns out the window.
Because looks like the flat tires on right side.
What do you want from me, bro?
Gun is down in the roadway.
Speed 168. No traffic right now. Still westbound 35.
They don't want to pit when they know the driver's got a firearm.
Someone's coming up on our left. Oh shit. Hello! God damn it, dude.
There we go. And that's all we got. All right, so you got the replay as well. I'm pretty sure that that puts us over the limit for language and violence in the morning. Let's see. Brandy Rose says, will you cover the Adam Montgomery trial? We covered his firearm trial. This one with Harmony is tough. It is really, really hard. So we've chosen not to cover that. A couple of great YouTubers who have brilliant legal minds and great production value of their shows are covering that, but we're not covering that one just because of the content. We just had a heavy trial, and that's another heavy one back to back, so we won't be covering that one. Brandy, appreciate the question though. Thank you. We have another trial we're going to be picking up out of Thurston, Washington, starting today. It's a short one. Interesting. Rumors say there's a Karen Reed hearing today. We might see the dismissal of the case today, but highly unlikely. Angela, I have heard, like, the other side of this trial, there's a large group of people who say this is absurd. She should never be charged. There's no evidence. The amount of discovery violations and everything else. This should never have gotten to this point. And that group is loud and vocal and growing. The other side is amazingly equally adamant that that this is the worst. She's the worst person on the earth, and this is the minimum they could have charged her with. It is the most bizarre thing to watch the two sides interact. It's like they're speaking different languages, or maybe looking at different cases. It is crazy. All right. Oh my goodness. G4. G4 is referencing a video. I think I saw it on Twitter. I think it's out. Police. Who was it? I forget which YouTube channel. Police Accountability or something. I don't remember. One of the channels that shows a lot of dash cam and body cam footage got a FOIA request out of Florida for a case where a police officer the video starts. He's walking back to his car, and suddenly he goes into does two forward rolls like somersaults, and he's yelling, shots fired, even though there's no sound. I mean, you could hear, but there was no bang, and he's yelling, shots fired, shots fired. He draws his gun and he unloads his handgun into his own vehicle. Pow, 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 pow. He just empties the clip and he's crawling across the road. I've been hit. And we're like, what is going on? And people are yelling in the background. His partner, who was there with him, was like, what's going on? Oh, we're shooting the car? Okay, so she starts shooting the car as well. Turns out an acorn fell off the tree onto his patrol car and probably bounced and hit him. So it hit the patrol car, bounced and hit him. He thought he was getting shot at. He had just arrested and cuffed a suspect and placed him in his vehicle, and he unloaded his gun into that vehicle, and his partner did as well. Miraculously, the gentleman in handcuffs in the car was not harmed. I don't know how. They handcuffed him in place and then emptied their guns on him and were not able to hit him. But when you look at the whole scenario, the whole situation, the suspect had been arrested. I believe he was a felon in possession of a firearm, and he was also in possession of an unlicensed silencer, which makes a firearm sometimes sound very quiet, like, say, an acorn hitting the hood of the car. So in the officer's head, I can see where this went, but it was an acorn. The sky was falling, and he. Anyway, he's no longer employed anymore, but he's not facing charges either. So that's an interesting video to watch. All right. Let's see. The Hannah retrial starts Monday with the Alec Baldwin, the Rust shooting. I don't know what the availability is on that one. Is that out of Arizona? Man, it's crazy. All right. The Rust Armor trial. I saw some the arrest video, or at least the custody video of that one for the armorer. That's something we're looking at. I don't know if we can or not. Let's see, where else are we at? Anything else to cover? Was there anything else I said I was going to do before we started the video this morning? I'm sure they secured the video before putting it back in the car, but I'm just wondering. I just don't know. I don't know how it works. It's crazy. Yeah, the officer is no longer an officer. I think it's in New Mexico. Yeah, okay, New Mexico. Do I have that one on my chart? What's the date for the Rust case? Hannah Reid pretrial hearing was very interesting. So they've got to be within about a week or two. When does it start? I think we just talked about this, but I forgot already. Donuts Raw Video had it out first. Okay. Thank you. Donuts had it first. Selena says, please tell me a bit about this trial. About the one we're going to cover today. This is a tough trial as well. it's not the easiest facts, because what we have is a situation where a caregiver is accused of abuse against a resident in a assisted living or a nursing home situation. The resident either has Alzheimer's or dementia or possibly both, and we hear that it's possibility that she became combative during times to shower. We've got a male nurse that's trying to get her to shower, and she becomes combative, and we're going to hear the facts of this, but it's alleged that the male nurse like slapped or pushed or hit her in some way, and that is not okay. So he's been charged with assault. There are two versions of the story. It's basically going to come down to one person saying this is what's happened and another person saying this is what's happened, and credibility issues involved. And it's going to be interesting, but it's also going to be very short. Meaning, I think we're going to be done with it today. That's out of Thurston. Because it's Thurston, Washington, we do get to see the jury's trial, the jury selection process. And I've tried to increase. I've worked on the audio to try so we can hear the responses as best we can. But we'll see how that goes. Okay. Give me a second. You guys want the JHatch tally? That's on computer 8. Hang on one second. That's what I had Thurston pulled up on, so just one moment here. Oh, I remember when I was going to tell you what I did. I finished the editing for my son's piano video. Now, I read the rules on this competition. It doesn't say much. I know that, here's what I know. The company that's doing the contest is, and that my son's a part of, they're doing this as advertising to get more interest in their channel, okay, in their program, their piano teaching program, which we love because it's worked for my son. He literally did not know where middle C was on the piano when he started a little over a year ago, and now he plays beautifully, like you'll see in the video. Which also, for the record, even though I edited it and it is cut up on the video, he filmed that. The recording was one take. He played that whole song in one take. So it has a couple tiny, tiny little errors in it that he's made. But this company is called Piano Marvel, and they have a website that looks like this. Let's see, where am I at? I'm on 8. It looks like this right here. This is called Piano Marvel. And if you just search for pianomarvel.com, you have to actually create a free account. And creating a free account involves putting your name, an email, an address, and creating a password, or just clicking continue with Apple or continue with Google. And once you log in, there's up on the banner, there's a big old page that says, there's a contest, and you can click through that and see my son's video. I can't play the video on here because my son, in posting his video to his channel, got a copyright claim, which means I can't post it on my video. I can't play the whole thing here. But honestly, he's a little bit proud of that, because a copyright claim means that he played this piece, which was composed by somebody else, well enough that YouTube can tell it's the same piece, and that it matches the original composer's rendition. So if you're interested, I'm not going to tell everyone to go over there and sign up, but we do love Piano Marvel. They're not sponsoring us. It's worked really well. We do have a relative that's part of the teaching community over there, and it's just we're just excited. So if you do go over there and check it out, we'd love you to give him a vote if you feel that he deserves it. He's in the high school category, by the way, high school. All right. That said, can you drop a link? I can give you a link to Piano Marvel. Just one second.
Alex stole it.
Alex stole it. All right. Here we go. There we go. It's something like that.
I was kicked back, taking it easy.
All right, so that's the link. That's the Piano Marvel. I do recommend them. They're not sponsoring me. I don't get any kickbacks or anything like that. But if you do have a child or a grandchild or something that's interested in learning piano online, it's an amazing program for that. Let's see. All right, let's see. Judge Simpson was the other thing. Judge Simpson. Oh, that was the before. Vicky, I haven't got that ready yet. I know you sent that to me, but before we start with Court and Thurston, just one second. Was it via email or via text, Vicky? My phone's going very slowly. No, my son's name is on there. You'll see it. It's the one with the picture that. It's the only video that looks different than all the rest. Let's put it that way. Okay. Thanks for the additional video from Ohio. I was just looking for a clean copy instead of the one with news reporters and stuff on it. That's why I did the request. All right. Okay, let's do this. Let's jump into Thurston, and then we might have to do some. Judge Boyd has a docket. Let's get Thurston done first. It's on the agenda, and then we might jump over to Judge Boyd. So let's get rid of this right here. I have 4 pointing devices on my desk now, which is a little confusing. You guys ready for Thurston jury selection? There we go. Yes, I was talking about mice and trackpads. So 2 trackpads and 2 mice now. I forgot there was a little lull at the beginning. I'm gonna boost I boosted the audio on the recording. Oh no. You know what? I'm playing the live feed. I need to play the recording because I boosted the audio once. I'm gonna do it again. So hold tight, just one second. Let's find the right mouse. Pause that guy. Shrink this down. Bring this one up. It looks the same, but it's actually different. There we go. We're going to play right here.
Turn around. Yes, but can I have counsel come up first?
So the jury is sitting there. It looks like they have a couple empty seats, which can only mean that some potential jurors did not show up in this pool. So I'm not sure if they're going to do the whole bench warrant thing or not, but the gentleman who just sat down there, that's our defendant, I believe Mr. Red is his name. We have a brand new prosecutor and a brand new defense attorney, both with second chair backup, who was helping them out.
Absolutely. Okay. All right, thanks.
The 2 on the right are our prosecutors. The 2 on our left, going back to their desks, are the defense. And there's our judge, who's actually a commissioner, who's got permission to hear this case.
Swing around here.
We play musical chairs
quickly. While we're getting reset here.
I hear someone. in my house and everyone's gone. Hang on.
Go. All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Thurston County District Court. I'm Commissioner Paul Wool. I'm the judicial officer who will be presiding over this trial that we summoned you in here today to participate in. And before we get started with our jury selection process, can I have all of you please stand and raise your right hands, please? Do each of you solemnly swear or affirm that you will truthfully answer any questions that are asked of you by the judge or the attorneys concerning your qualifications to serve as jurors in this case? Please be seated. All right. All right, I'm going to start by giving you some general information about the jury selection process, what we're doing here. Then I'll ask you a few general questions, again, concerning your qualifications to serve as jurors in this case. After I'm done with that, then I'll turn that over to the attorneys who will have the opportunity to discuss your qualifications and some other matters with you a little bit more informally. After we've done that, then we will select 7 of you to be the jury in this case. And those of you who are not selected will be excused. All right, so this is your general information. The remarks I make, the questions I ask, the questions I permit the lawyers to ask, and these instructions are directed to the attention of all of the jurors in the courtroom. Each of you is cautioned to pay close attention to these proceedings. In order that the case be tried before an impartial jury, the lawyers and I will ask you questions, not to embarrass you or to pry into your private affairs, but to determine if you are unbiased and without preconceived ideas that might affect the case. You should not withhold information in order to be seated on this particular jury. You should be truthful in your answers rather than answering in a way that you believe the court or the lawyers expect you to answer. It is presumed that when a jury has been selected and accepted by both sides, each of you will keep an open mind until the case is finally submitted, will accept the instructions of the court, and will base any decision on the law and the facts uninfluenced by any other considerations. The purpose of the questions during jury selection is to determine if you have that frame of mind. Now, the lawyers have the right and the duty to challenge any jurors for cause. They may also challenge up to 3 jurors without giving any reason. These are called peremptory challenges. And you should not take offense if you are challenged, because the challenge is not exercised as a personal reflection on you. This is a criminal case instituted by the city of Tumwater as the plaintiff. The city of Tumwater is represented by their attorneys, Ms. Gabby Kitmacher. Do you want to introduce your co-counsel, Ms. Kitmacher?
Yes, this is Deputy Prosecuting Attorney Corey Thompson.
Okay. And the defendant in this case, Mr. Donnie Red, is represented by his attorney, Ms. Patty Capone. And
Hi.
You can introduce co-counsel as well if you'd like to.
This is Mr. Peter Kale.
The defendant is charged by complaint with 1 count of assault in the 4th degree. The defendant has entered a plea of not guilty. That plea puts in issue every element of the crime charged. The complaint in this case is only an accusation against the defendant that informs him of the charge. You are not to consider the filing of the complaint or its contents as proof of the matters charged. It is your duty to determine the facts in this case from the evidence produced in court. It is also your duty to accept the law from the court, regardless of what you personally believe the law is or ought to be. You are to apply the law to the facts and in this way decide the case. A defendant is presumed innocent. This presumption continues throughout the entire trial unless you find it has been overcome by the evidence beyond a reasonable doubt. The plaintiff has the burden of proving each element of the crime beyond a reasonable doubt. A reasonable doubt is one for which a reason exists and may arise from the evidence or lack of evidence. It is such a doubt as would exist in the mind of a reasonable person after fully, fairly, and carefully considering all of the evidence or lack of evidence. If after such consideration you have an abiding belief in the truth of the charge, you are satisfied beyond a reasonable doubt. And as this is a criminal case, the jury must be unanimous in order to return a verdict. Right, now I'm going to ask you some general questions. And if you would answer yes or probably to these questions, raise your hand and keep your hand up until the lawyers and I have had a chance to note your juror number. So first of all, have any of you ever heard of this case before? City of Tumwater versus Donnie Red. Okay, apparently not. And a related question, has anyone ever expressed an opinion to you concerning this case? All right, again, none. Do any of you know the defendant, Mr. Red, or any of the lawyers on either side of this case? One hand up. Juror number 14. Okay, and juror number 14, would this acquaintance impair your ability to try this case fairly? No. And can you tell us which of these people you know?
I believe I know Mr. Thompson. I think
Mr. Thompson?
Facebook friends from
okay.
the public defender a long time ago.
I think we might be Facebook friends.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Mr. Kell and my children go to the same day.
Correct, John. We have a fair number of mutual
children
friends,
go to the same daycare,
as well as his spouse. So yes,
small world moment. All right, thank you. Was that everybody? I didn't miss anybody. Okay, very good. All right, do any of you know any of the following people who might be called as witnesses in this case? And I'll start with the City of Tumwater to tell you the names of their witnesses.
I apologize. Yes. Ms. Reagan Duplessis.
Can you speak non-verbally?
Yes. Reagan Duplessis.
Any other?
And Officer Rachel Johnson of the Tumwater Police Department.
So they have two witnesses.
Any of those names familiar to anybody? All right. And then witnesses on behalf of the defense.
Miss Janelle Reardon and Dayshawna or Day Sinclair.
Nobody's familiar with any of those names? All right, thank you. All right, now have any of you ever had a personal experience with a similar or related type of case or incident? Now I'll remind you that the charge in this case is assault in the 4th degree. Have any of you had any experience with an incident like that, either as a victim, a witness, or an accused? All right, juror number 4. Anybody else? Juror number 5. Okay. Did I miss anybody? All right, so would this influence your consideration of this case, jurors 4 and 5?
I would need to know more about what type of assault it was.
Okay, how about if I put you down as maybe, then the lawyers will ask you some questions about that. Okay. All right, and a similar question, do any of you have a close friend or a relative who has had experience with a similar or related type of case or incident as a victim, witness, or an accused? Juror number 4. Okay, and juror number 4, would that affect your consideration of this case? Okay, thank you. All right, are any of you connected in any way with the administration of justice? That would be courts, prosecutors' offices, public defenders' offices, or law enforcement agencies. Okay, juror number 14. All right. All right, juror number 14, would that influence your consideration of this case? All right, my guess based on your previous answers, there'll be some follow-up questions. Juror number 13, do you think you have those associations too? Okay. Is that a Department of Corrections or JRA? Lewis County Juvenile. Okay, yeah, that sort of thing would count. So if any of you are associated with those things. Corrections agencies, all right. Thank you. Would that, do you think that would affect your consideration of this case? Okay. All right, and then related question, are any of you related to or close friends with any person connected with courts, administration of justice, or law enforcement agencies? Friends or family members? Okay, again, juror number 14, juror number 19.
The jury being
And
shown is up
maybe
to the court.
possibly 5, maybe possibly 9. All right, so for the 4 of you, would this affect your consideration of this case? Okay, everybody's shaking their heads.
It's not a law that you can't show the jury. As a matter of fact, some states
And
allow
would any of you
the
be
media to
unable
film
to
the
assure
jury.
the court that you would follow the court's instructions
this one.
on the law, regardless of what you think the law is or ought to be? Okay. This is between blank stares and no response. All right, awkwardly worded question. What it means is at certain points during this case, I'm going to give you definitions of legal terms or tell you what the law says. Now, when I do that, you'd be required as a juror to accept that explanation of what the law is, regardless of whether you came in here thinking it was something different or you have a strong opinion that it should be something different. You'd have to put that aside and apply the law as it's given to you by the court. Can everybody do that? Okay, very good. I have to rewrite that question. Do any of you know any reason why you might not be able to try this case impartially? Very good. And then we expect that this case will last the rest of today and then the rest of tomorrow as well. And there's not any fixed length on how long a jury can deliberate in a case, so maybe even a little bit longer than that in the right circumstances. So with those deadlines in mind, do any of you have any reason whatever that you should not sit on this case? And I'm talking about hard deadlines for things. Maybe you got airplane tickets to go to Europe at the end of the week. Babies being born in your family. All right, someplace you have to be in the next day or two. All right, not seeing any. Okay. All right, then. That is all the general questions that I have for you. So I will ask you to please give your attention to Ms. Kittmacher on behalf of the City of Tumwater.
Hello, and I apologize first for our matching outfits. That was not on purpose. We'll try to do better tomorrow. Throughout this trial, we're going to talk at you a lot. Both sides are going to make opening statements, telling you what we think will happen. The city's going to bring in some witnesses, defense might bring in a witness, and then we'll both argue to you about what the outcome should be. This part here is really the most interactive part, so it's your chance to talk to us, so please do. I guess first, is anyone really excited to be here for jury duty? No? Yeah?
One
Great.
hand went up.
I just want to say the purpose of jury selection is not to embarrass anyone or pry into anybody's lives. Just trying to get your opinions on issues that we think could come up. So have any of you actually served as part of a jury before? Awesome.
Same hand up.
Were those criminal or civil cases? Remember? Criminal? Number 9, you said criminal. Okay. Without telling me the verdict, were you able to reach one? Yes. How was that experience? Was it positive, negative, neutral? Number 9.
I had to stand up and I was guilty. I didn't want them off.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Do you feel like you shouldn't have to be on another jury since you've already served on jury duty? Number 9? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Have any of you ever been accused of a crime or been a witness or a victim in a criminal proceeding? Number 5, you said yes. Okay. Do you have any hard feelings about our criminal justice system based on that experience? No. Did anyone else say yes to having that experience? Just number 5. Okay. Oftentimes in cases, each side has a conflicting version of events. Have any of you ever been in a situation where you had to listen to conflicting stories and decide which one to believe? Yes. How did you handle that? Or how would you decide which version of the story you're hearing is more credible? Can't see your number 12?
Give each side its due diligence and giving a chance to tell the story. That is impartially as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And outcome has to be reached. So.
Sure. Number 13, did you raise your hand?
Yeah, I was a vice principal, so that's pretty much what I did on the day-to-day.
He was a vice
Right.
principal.
Right. And how would you handle that situation where you had to listen to
Listen to both sides equally, read the statements, go talk to the witnesses, kind of like, almost like guys who probably on a small scale.
Sure.
Make a judgment at the end.
Awesome. Anyone else raise their hand for that first question? Yeah, try number one. Sorry, was it work related? Okay. And how would you decide which story to believe?
Or you.
Okay. What sort of things would you look for to figure that out? Like statements from others that are consistent with one side, or maybe observations from others?
Statements in my look at what's observed, supervisor, just working along.
Mm-hmm.
We are live.
And juror number 13, what kind of things would you look at?
There's such a variety of things I had to look out on. If video, if I had it, I'd read all the witness statements thoroughly. I would talk to as many people as I possibly could.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. Would anyone here who here would be unable to convict somebody of a crime or make a decision when there are two different stories being told about what happened?
No hands went up.
Nobody?
Bueller.
Moving on. Has anyone ever worked as a caregiver or a nurse, or maybe taking care of an elderly family member? Yes.
Currently work for some of the DHS.
Okay.
Caretake for multiple developmentally disabled seniors.
Okay. And somebody else, number 9? Yes.
Not me directly, but my wife is also a nurse, and so I'm a bit partial.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Okay.
His wife's a nurse.
Have you ever faced any challenges in handling their care? Number 9, maybe?
Well, we had a problem with my hospice patient. It was a challenge to, but other than that.
Okay. How did you handle those, or how did you address those challenges?
Well, luckily, I just let the next of kin do it instead of me.
She let the next of kin do something. She was doing something with hospice. Really hard to hear.
And number 4, you had mentioned, did you ever face any challenges handling anyone's care?
I mean, there's challenges every day with developmentally disabled individuals.
Mm-hmm.
I specialize in more of the behavior side, so it could get quite physical at times.
And how would you address those challenges?
Through the training that I've been provided, acceptable forms of restraints that are needed.
Okay. And finally, I heard it might snow tonight. Would anyone have any conflicts appearing if trial is delayed from tomorrow to Friday or Monday due to bad weather? Number 9.
What kind of question was that?
What was that?
I want it to be moved.
Gotcha. Okay.
I want it to be moved.
Anyone else? Yes. I will start number 5.
Monday would be a bigger problem for me. I'm good this week, but it would start to be a burden.
Okay. And number 12.
Monday being a holiday, is Monday off though?
Yes.
Tuesday.
Okay, sorry.
Monday is my wife's birthday. That would be a problem.
Monday's my wife's birthday.
And then
I'm already here on Valentine's
number
Day
18, okay.
since this was yesterday, so I can't miss her birthday as well.
It's hard to schedule.
Understood. If court isn't delayed, or sorry, I see we have another one, 19. I'm sorry, what was that?
Would it resume on Tuesday and not Monday?
Potentially, just for work. Okay. And number 1.
Someone would find out.
About 3 in the morning.
I'm hearing 3 in the morning, but I'm not sure. Okay, if court isn't delayed, would anyone have any difficulties getting to court in snowy or icy conditions, or you have like two-wheel drive, or you rely on the bus or something like that? Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. And number 9. Gotcha. Yeah, that would be. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
Remind me to show this after this video is done. We've got about an hour left.
Fair enough. Did anyone else raise their hand for that one? Did I miss? Yes.
I have to park in a ditch, so it depends if I can get out
or not. Ooh. Good point. Okay. One. I guess that's everything. Thank you for your time.
Okay, so prosecution's asked their questions. Defense now gets to ask their
Does the
set of
panel
questions.
please give your attention to Ms. Capone on behalf of Mr. Red?
Howdy. Happy Valentine's Day. Sorry you're stuck spending it with me. Welcome to Thurston County District Courtroom 4. If you're asking yourself is this what a courtroom looks like, generally the answer is no. I think this was an old office building. Speaking of courtrooms, could anyone please feel free to raise your hand if you think we're here today because somebody committed a crime?
One hand.
Number 4, can you expand upon that? So you believe that if we're here today, then a crime must have been committed. Okay. And that's a belief you hold firmly? Okay. So if you were given a rule that said that today you have to look at Mr. Red and presume him innocent, would you have a hard time following that rule?
No. Because what I believe the crime is
Okay. But you believe Mr. Red must have committed a crime to be here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Won't hold that against him, but yes, I believe he committed a crime.
I'm sorry, I can't see numbers. Ma'am, juror number 18, I saw you shaking your head. Do you think we're here today because a crime was committed?
I think we're here because a crime was committed, but I don't know that the defendant is the person that committed it. So I feel like I could still judge fairly.
Okay. So we're here today.
We just don't know if
you feel because
done
the
it.
crime was committed.
I guess I don't think we'd be at court or called as a juror if there wasn't something going on.
Yeah, no, that's fair. You don't think that the state would go to all this trouble if not for the fact that there must have been a crime.
Yeah.
So if I had told you that Mr. Red is innocent, and could you put your feelings aside that a crime has been committed today?
I am, yeah.
Okay. But you firmly hold the belief that a crime has been committed today. Well, not today, but.
Probably, maybe, but
Okay, thank you.
Probably
Does anyone else
maybe.
feel the same as juror number 18 or juror number 4? Juror number 9?
I agree that homeowners, tax dollars share, there must be something.
There must be something, she
But I
says.
don't know what degree it is.
Yeah.
But I don't know what degree
Yeah.
it was.
No, that's fair. This is a lot of time, money, effort, energy. You're all here today. We've taken you away from your lives, so that's a completely valid point. So juror number 9, if you look at Mr. Red today, do you think that he must have done something wrong to be sitting here? Okay. Does anyone perhaps agree with this statement? So if you're a law-abiding citizen, you've done everything you can, you've never been sitting in this defendant chair. So Mr. Red must have done something wrong to be sitting in that chair because you've never been sitting there. Does anyone agree with that statement? No? Okay. Let's see. So if someone's accused of a crime, as Mr. Red is here today, does anyone feel like that makes him more guilty of that crime, it's more likely that he might have committed it because they picked him out? No.
It's interesting. These are questions like the judge has already gone over, but she's going deeper into the same line of questioning instead of the specific
Juror number
facts.
13. You said that you've had experience hearing both sides of a story and trying to come to a conclusion as a vice principal. What if you weren't able to get both sides of the story? Would that impact your ability to make a decision?
You have answers to education, so you have to make sure you do your due diligence.
Right. And in juror number 12, I think you expressed a similar experience of hearing from two sides of a story and trying to come to a conclusion. If you were missing a side of the story, would that impact your ability to make a decision? Okay.
Possibly.
So, and I think you're shaking your head, juror number 18. No, you're good. I want you to interact with me. I don't want to be here all by myself. Does anyone else feel like it would be difficult to make a decision if you didn't hear both sides of the story? Juror number 19? Anyone else?
Their client's not going to testify.
Jurors numbers 2, 9. I can't see your numbers at 6, 11, and 7.
Sorry, could you repeat that question?
Would it be difficult for you to make a decision if you didn't hear both sides of the story? Number 3. Okay. And number, is that 18?
Wow.
Sorry, I would use your names, but I don't have that good of a, oh, sorry, 16. Don't have that good of a memory, so I appreciate you bearing with me here.
To convict
juror number 3, if you didn't hear both sides of the story, would you be able to make a decision?
Would depend on the other evidence presented.
Okay.
So I'm not sure.
Can you think of reasons why someone might not want to give their side of the story?
I would think maybe their counsel would tell them not to give their side of the story.
Juror number 7.
They're guilty?
I think you raised your hand about potentially having an issue making a decision. Can you think of a reason why someone might not give their side of a story? Does anyone here hate public speaking? Number 15, did you raise your hand too? I don't like it either. This is all a front. I hope I'm holding together for you guys. Juror number 15, can you think of a reason why someone might not give their side of the story?
They don't want to incriminate themselves.
Because they're guilty?
Okay. So do you think that someone would remain silent when they're guilty? Okay. So if you didn't hear testimony from Mr. Rudd today, would you think that that meant he was guilty? Okay. Juror number 9, I kind of see you shaking your head maybe.
This is what happened during my jury.
Yeah. And do you think that makes the client more guilty or look guilty?
I had to go back to the judge afterwards to ask.
Juror number 5.
I just want to be honest and say yes. I would.
Okay.
Find out.
I believe the 5th, and then if you were choosing to not tell your side of the story, there's probably a reason, and I would assume it's self-incrimination.
Right. So if the judge told you that you have to presume Mr. Rudd innocent and he doesn't have to testify, you would think that made him guilty if he didn't choose to?
I would try really hard to not let that be in my bias, but right now, like in my brain, I'm sitting there saying like it would influence.
No, and that's fair. I mean, I'm sure that if any of you were accused of a crime you didn't commit, you'd probably want to shout your innocence from the rooftops. Does anyone else agree with that statement or feel that if Mr. Rudd didn't take the stand and give his side of the story, that must mean that he's got something to hide? Juror number 4, you think that might be the case? Juror number 9, you might think that's the case. So juror numbers 4 and 9, if the judge instructed you not to hold it against him, not to take the stand, do you think you'd have a hard time doing that if Mr. Rudd chose not to take the stand? Yeah, no, like I said, that's totally fair and valid. Like I said, you'd want to scream your innocence. Yeah, and juror number 4, you think you'd have a hard time presuming Mr. Rudd innocent if he didn't testify?
I don't know who's left.
I just feel like if you honestly feel like you did something wrong, I would not say anything about it.
No,
Why would you not like express that?
No, that's completely valid. You'd want to, who here would want to shout their innocence from the rooftops if they were accused of a crime? Juror number 5, juror number 19, juror number 7. Did I say 9 already? Oh, and juror number, I've called on you a couple of times and I can't, 18. Got it. Juror number 18, do you think you'd have a hard time presuming Mr. Red innocent if he didn't take the stand today or tomorrow? No. Okay. Let's see what we got. Does anyone here have family or friends in law enforcement or have worked in law enforcement themselves? Juror number 19, who do you know that's in law enforcement? Okay.
Retired.
And do you have a good relationship with your uncle? Okay. Do you think that you are more inclined to believe something your uncle would say because he's a police officer over a random person off the side of the road? No. Does anyone, here, I'll give a hypothetical. If an officer and a random person off the side of the road were to give you the same story, obviously different facts, is anyone here more likely to believe the officer? Juror number 5, juror number 12, and juror number 9, and juror number 15. So juror number 15, if 2 different people gave you a story and you heard different accounts, you're probably more likely to believe the police officer. Okay. Juror number 2, how do you feel about that?
Whether the cop is more correct or not?
Yeah.
Well, crookedness can be on both sides, so it's hard to say. Right?
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Juror number 2 is going to be
juror
seated.
number 6, how do you feel about that hypothetical?
I don't think either one's more likely to be on.
Okay. Let's see.
Okay, so 2 and 6, I think, are seated for sure.
So you kind of got an idea that this case involves a nursing home. How would it make people feel to hear about a male caregiver showering a female resident? Is anyone uncomfortable with that idea, to hear facts like that? Juror number 2, you'd be uncomfortable hearing about a male caregiver showering a female patient?
From the perspective of the patient, I think so.
Okay. And why do you feel that way?
You answered already.
So you.
That question, I don't know the condition of the patient.
Okay. One more thing. Juror number 2, do you think that? So you think in that dynamic, perhaps a power dynamic, that it's more likely that a man would assault a woman?
Well, the situation is that the caregiver is more alert.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The patient, you don't really know, but
yeah,
the fact that he's being taken care of.
Okay.
Maybe there's some sort of ability or disability.
Okay. And juror number 1, you expressed maybe a similar feeling?
My shower, like giving a bath.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
Okay. Does that dynamic bother you at all?
Depends on what their procedures are. I don't know that right.
Yeah. Let's see. Is anyone here a mandated reporter by profession? Okay, 5, 4, 12, and 13. 13, are you still a vice principal?
No, I'm a school teacher at detention.
Okay. And juror number 12, what do you do?
I'm a surgical coordinator for an early oncology office.
Juror number 5? And juror number 4? I'm a caregiver. Okay. Does anyone here know? Oh, number 15.
Well, I don't know if I'm a mandated caregiver, but a reporter, but I do work in a school. So if I knew of something, I would tell them.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, and if as I'm going, you like think of something that I said and it raises alarms in your head, or if you think of anything that was asked by the state or
she's doing a
the
good
judge,
job on the questioning.
Feel free to bring it back up. Does anyone here have a family member or friend or know someone who's had Alzheimer's or dementia? Turn number 1,
lots of hands.
2, 8, 9, 15, 4, 10, and 6. And 18. I'll get her eventually. Juror number 1, you said you knew someone with Alzheimer's or dementia. Who was that?
My grandmother.
Your grandmother. Were you close with your grandmother, or are you close with your grandmother? I'm sorry. So if you had to hear a case about a person with Alzheimer's or dementia, would you be thinking of your grandmother?
Possibly.
Yeah. Would you maybe have an emotional response? No. Does anyone who's been impacted by Alzheimer's or dementia think that they would feel emotional hearing about a patient with Alzheimer's or dementia? Number 9. Number 15.
I work with caregivers.
Mm-hmm.
A male caregiver can be completely fine and very professional. But one of my clients was raped by an employee and by the
Wow, she's out.
I'm sorry.
She's out.
And number 15, you expressed
my dad has dementia, so it's very close.
Yeah, close to home. Yeah, no, I'm really sorry. I know these are difficult questions. It's sad to see so many lives affected by it. I know that my life has been too. So does anyone think that if they heard a case about someone with Alzheimer's or dementia, that they would think of their family member, maybe have an emotional response to that? Number 9 and 15.
Judges.
Do
crossing,
number 9, number 15, do you feel like you'd be fit for a better, different kind of case? Yeah, number 9. Number 15. Does anyone here think that they'd be fit for a better case, knowing that this is about potentially a patient with Alzheimer's or dementia? Okay.
She has to say, she has to keep it hypothetical. They can't use the actual facts of this case, even though they can say hypothetically and then give the facts of this case. But she's doing a pretty good job getting a lot of people possibly ruled out for cause, which is helpful. Juror 9 is gone for sure. Very personal experience as a caregiver with a previous situation of abuse. Very, very terrible. Judy says, why didn't she just start with the Alzheimer's question? It seems the Alzheimer's or dementia is... it's interesting that she waited till the end.
And then I'll leave you to the rest of the jury service, which is still with me. Juror number 8, we haven't heard from you. Did you say that you've been impacted by Alzheimer's or dementia before? And were you close with those family members? Do you think you'd have a hard time hearing a case? No, you'd be able to put that aside. So if you heard a case about a patient with Alzheimer's or dementia, you wouldn't be thinking of your grandmother. Okay. Juror number 10, did you also mention that you had experience with someone?
Yeah, my great aunt.
Your great aunt?
Yeah. She was 102 when I met her, so
102.
She's already fading a little bit, but she was a strong woman, so
yeah.
She kept on there for a couple of years.
Okay. So if you were to hear facts about an elderly woman with dementia or Alzheimer's, you wouldn't be thinking of your... Okay. All righty. I think that's all I have. Thank you guys for answering my questions. I know they weren't easy.
And Your Honor, could the city ask one question to the whole panel to clarify?
Go ahead.
Question? Hi again. I just want to clarify, does everyone agree that the defendant, as he sits here right now, is innocent until the city proves his guilt beyond a reasonable doubt? Does anybody not agree with that?
She said, does everyone agree? Does everyone not agree?
All right, can I have counsel come up?
That was a terrible question. Did I hear that wrong?
Members of the panel, we're going to have a discussion up here. Yes, we're going to be talking about you.
You could take a break at place, but in general, keep facing this way. We're going to need to turn around and look at your juror badge numbers. In a few minutes here, I'll be able to announce who will be selected as part of the jury in this case.
I think so. Number one's getting a little yoga in.
Jurisdictions, cities and counties.
Talking about jurisdictions, cities, and counties.
I'm going to take cause challenges here in a second. So, are you ready? We're going to start with cause challenges, all of yours, and then all of yours. And then after we do cause challenges, we'll do peremptory.
The judge says we're going to start with cause challenges, all of yours, and then all of yours. After we do cause, we're going to do peremptory challenges.
All right, so I'm going to start with city cause challenges. Okay. We can guess why. Hiding something. Okay. So you double project that. All right. Strike the crime.
I can't hear the numbers that are striking for cause. I would think 4, 9, 15.
So the
I don't know. Let's see. I have a mouse on my face. Sorry, I've been moving this mouse around. Was it this one? We're having some buffering issues. Anyone else having some issues? And we're back.
Yes. And make sure the arsenic wasn't exploded further. The way it was frozen.
This is a tough case. A lot of times, when our family members reach a certain point in life, they require additional care, and sometimes that cannot be performed by other family members. When somebody does have to go to a home to receive that additional care, that treatment, there's an expectation of trust. There's a huge trust that they're going to be cared for and protected as well. So. Let's see. So this case is about, Lisa, this case is about a caregiver, Mr. Red, I think his name is. He's sitting on the table on the left-hand side behind the two attorneys. He was a caregiver in a home where there was a patient a resident or a patient who had either dementia or Alzheimer's. And it was his job to care for her, and in part of that care was making sure she was her hygiene was clean, and so his job was to have her shower. And during that time, I think we're going to hear some facts. We haven't heard them yet, but during that time, because the case hasn't started yet, we've just had opening statements. But he was, I believe, training another employee, and there was an altercation where, according to the defense side, the resident, who was a lady, became combative during that time, and it's alleged that he struck her, that either slapped her or pushed her or something of that nature. And that's where this charge is coming from. So we're going to have, the patient is still alive. We found out in motions yesterday as we watched the prelim motions that the patient would be deemed not fit to stand trial, not mentally competent to stand trial, but she is still alive. We also heard yesterday that the manager, I believe a manager at the residence, after this happened, checked the patient, and there were no signs of any injury. That there was no slap marks or bruises or something of that nature. Not sure if that evidence is going to be allowed in, because it's very difficult to get that in. But for this particular charge, I believe it's a assault, fourth degree assault. For this charge, there doesn't have to be proof of like a physical injury. So. So there was a witness. Cynthia, it's not as clean cut as we'd like a case to be. This particular witness, we're hearing that the witnesses possibly may not be reliable. That she has a history or a propensity to sort of make up or tell stories if it serves her purpose.
Those are going to alternate.
Okay, so they're done with the for cause.
Remember, I told you this before, that if you pass on a juror, you can go back and start
If you pass on a juror, you can go back and strike later, or you can't.
So, like, say number one.
Yeah, okay, that's exactly right. Yeah, we'll take them in numerical order.
Got it.
So we're starting with number one. They need a second. Defense says they need a second to talk this over. They can't find a place where they can go where the other side won't hear. They're like, well, we might as well just talk it over with our client. Let's go huddle around the microphone and whisper there. So they're consulting with their client right now, showing him who has been removed for cause, which ones they would like, which ones they would not like. Obviously, the ones that they would like, the state will probably want to strike because they want a jury that's more favorable to their cause. And This is all part of the game. We normally don't get to see this. This happens outside the presence of the cameras, except in Thurston, Washington, and a couple other places. The victim in this case would not be mentally fit to testify because of her mental condition. It is a deteriorating condition, and I imagine if she was bad enough at the time that it would be a problem, that now it would just be worse. This is the juror pool we're looking at, the people sitting there. We are missing 2, so I think 2 did not show up for court. Bench warrants for them, I think. You've got to show up for jury duty. I believe, people for real, I think we're going to hear that the trainee, I think it was another employee that called the police, is my understanding. I'm not sure if it was the trainee that he was training or someone else. A bench warrant is where the judge, of his own volition, writes a warrant out for your arrest. It doesn't require an officer to come in and make a list of, all the probable cause. The judge from the bench writes the warrant because you failed to do something. Usually it's you failed to show up in court. Oh, hey, hang on. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hi, this is Sam, Senior Advisor. How are you today?
I'm doing well, Sam. How are you?
This call is to let you know about the new benefits of Medicare. So I believe you do have a Part A and Part B, right? So do you have Medicare Part A and Part B?
Are there 2 people on the call? There's 2 people talking. Which question did you want me to answer?
Okay, so let me transfer your call to one of my senior supervisors who will further assist you and let you know what options we have available for you. Okay?
That would be great.
Thank you so much for connecting. My name is Stacy, and I am here to assist you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Stacy. How are you?
Good to hear. I'm doing wonderful, thank you. So we are here to review options with you to see if you can qualify for some extra benefits today. I believe you do have Medicare Part A and B active. Is that right?
Yes, and I would like to get all of them that I can. What? I don't know enough about Medicare to run this scam. I'm sorry. She hung up on me. So anyway, I want the whole alphabet. I want the whole alphabet. What else? What's the right answer? What would somebody say? I want the entire alphabet of Medicare. That was Stacy and not Stacy's mom. Ask her for mom. I should have. Oh my goodness. Casey Cat, we're devastated here oh my goodness. In Casey, after yesterday's tragedy, 22 shot, 11 of them children, ages 6 through 15, 1 fatality, a mom of 2, her 2 kids also shot. Please pray for Casey. Will never attend another parade rally. Oh my goodness. Casey Cat, I am so sorry. That was terrible. I don't know. I haven't heard the facts of this, but there's no condition that would make that right. It was terrible.
All right, members of the panel, I'll announce who the 7 of you are who will be sitting on the jury. The people whose numbers I do not call, you will be excused from jury service in this case. You may need to contact jury administration tonight. I'm not sure what instructions they gave you. So the folks who will be on the jury, number 1, number 3, number 7, number 10, number 11, number 13, and number 16. Those 7 numbers I called, can I have you get up and you'll be reseated over here and the clerk will take care of you.
Okay, we've got another call. Hang on.
Call from
Lindy.
Oh, this
to
is
accept, press 1.
is,
To send a voicemail, press
hang on.
2.
Hey, Lindy, we're live with court. Did you want to be live on the air?
I was going to give you your Medicare tutorial. It's really short.
Okay, please help me out.
Medicare A is for hospital coverage.
Okay.
Medicare B covers outpatient, like doctors and, other outpatient services, x-rays, it's physical therapy, all that kind of thing.
Okay.
Medicare C is if you want to do the alternative Medicare coverage, which is considered a Medigap, a Medicare C, what am I trying to say? Like an HMO. So all you need is that. But if you have Medicare C, you don't need to get any other coverage.
So
if you only have A and B, you also want to buy Part D, as in David, and that's for drug coverage.
Oh man.
And
Okay,
there's
so
your tutorial.
So my line is going to be, I really am interested in Part D because of how many drugs I want, right? So I could either go that route, or I could say I've got a witch doctor friend who wants to do some treatment on me, but should be covered under Part C. Okay, I've got this. I've got this. Okay, thank you for that tutorial. I'm much smarter now. I can't ask for the whole alphabet then. That's where they knew I was a scam.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Love it. Now I'm ready for the next scam call. Let's go back and continue court here. We've got our jury picked out. Pretty much everyone who talked in this jury voir dire was eliminated. That's what happened.
And for the rest of you whose numbers were not called, thank you very much for participating in jury selection, and you're excused.
D is for drugs. Just remember that.
I got a little ahead of you there.
So the judge is going to give, once the jury's gone, they can actually stay if the members who are not selected, they're allowed to stay and watch the court.
To deal with that stuff.
C is the only one that is optional. B is for bubble. You guys are not helping me now. I'm trying to remember. So I'm just D for drugs. That's what I remember next time. Okay.
Good. Yeah, the clerk's going to reseat you in your numerical order.
You can't just sit where you want. That would not be fair to justice. I didn't follow the breakdown of men and women. If somebody wants to...
Right, members of the jury, can I have you each stand and raise your right hand? I'm going to swear you in as the jury in this case. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will well and truly try the case and declare a true verdict according to the evidence and the instructions of the court? Thank you. Please be seated. All right, I'm going to give you some preliminary instructions about your service on this jury. And then after that, you'll hear opening statements of counsel. After you've heard your opening statements of counsel, I'll recess you for the day to return back to hear the rest of the case tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's important that you keep your minds open and attentive throughout the trial. Do not discuss this case among yourselves or with anyone else. Do not permit anyone to discuss it with you or in your presence. A violation of this order would be serious and may involve a personal penalty and may involve a mistrial, which would cause great harm to the parties in this case. You will not be sequestered or kept together during this trial. Because of this, you're admonished not to read, view, or listen to any report, the newspaper, radio, or television on the subject of this trial. Do not permit anyone to read or comment on it to you or in your presence. It is important that you keep your mind free of extraneous influences so that you decide the case on the evidence and under the court's instructions on the law. If your family and friends ask you about the case, you should tell them that you're under the court's instructions not to discuss it. When the trial is over, you'll be released from this instruction and free to discuss this case in your experience as a juror. The lawyers, the defendant, and the witnesses are not permitted to talk to you during the trial. Even a discussion which had no relation to the case would give a bad appearance. For this reason, the participants in the trial will not greet or converse with you during the trial. And while you're not to be kept together or sequestered during the trial, you will take all of your recesses in the jury deliberation room. And when we recess for the noon period and for the day, you will depart the jury deliberation room and proceed directly out of the courthouse. Excuse me. When you return, come directly back to the jury deliberation room, avoiding any inadvertent contact with anyone who may be part of this case who you're not able to identify by sight. You as a juror should never seek out evidence or do any research. Now, that's important that I told you a minute ago not to watch TV about this case or read the newspaper about this case. You're not going to see anything on TV or in the newspaper about this case. But if you were to do research on the internet, like a Google search, you probably would. And I'm specifically telling you not to do that. Don't Google or research anything to do with the law in the state of Washington, the law of the assault, the substantive charge in this case, the defendant, the witnesses' names you may have heard, any of that. That is exactly the kind of extraneous information that we're talking about. You should not inspect the scene of an event involved in a case, as conditions may not be the same. There are many other reasons why the case must be decided only on proper evidence admitted in the courtroom. If your normal coming and going from the court sessions would result in passing or seeing the scene, do not stop and investigate, and please advise the clerk so that she can tell me. I may repeat or refer to these instructions from time to time during the trial. These instructions continue to apply throughout the conduct of the entire trial and at every recess until the case is finally submitted to you for your decision, whether or not I specifically repeat or refer to them again. I will now explain to you the functions and duties of jurors, the court, and the lawyers, and the procedure that we will follow during this case. The lawyer's remarks, statements, and arguments are intended to help you understand the evidence and apply the law. They are not evidence, however, and you should disregard any remarks, statements, or arguments which are not supported by the evidence or by the law as the court gives it to you. The law does not permit me to comment on the evidence in any way, and I will not intentionally do so. By a comment on the evidence, I mean some expression or indication from me as to my opinion on the value of the evidence or the weight of it. If it appears to you that I do comment on the evidence, you are to disregard such comment entirely. The lawyers may make objections to questions and evidence. They have a right and duty to make any objections they deem appropriate. Such objections should not influence you, and you should make no presumptions based on their objections. The evidence that you're to consider consists of the testimony of witnesses and the exhibits admitted into evidence. It will be my duty to rule on the admissibility of evidence. You must not concern yourselves with the reasons for these rulings. You will disregard any evidence which is either not admitted or which may be stricken by the court.
Defendant is in the middle on the left table.
The case will proceed in the following order. First, the plaintiff's lawyer may make an opening statement outlining the evidence to be presented on behalf of the plaintiff's case. The defense lawyer may make an opening statement outlining the defendant's case immediately after the plaintiff's opening statement, or the defendant's lawyer may reserve opening statement until the conclusion of the plaintiff's case. Second, the plaintiff will introduce evidence. At the conclusion of the plaintiff's evidence, the defendant may introduce evidence. Rebuttal evidence may also be introduced by either side. Third, at the conclusion of all the evidence, further instructions will be given to you, after which the lawyers will have the opportunity to make closing arguments. Then after that which you'll be given further instructions, then you will select a presiding juror to deliberate on your verdict. You are officers of the court and must act judiciously and with an earnest desire to determine and declare a proper verdict. Throughout the trial, you should be impartial and permit neither sympathy nor prejudice to influence you. All right, now members of the jury, I'll ask you to please give your attention to Ms. Kittmacher with the opening statement on behalf of the City of Tumwater.
On April 11th, 2023, Mr. Donnie Lee Redd Jr. was in charge of the care of Miss Betty Mae Wood, a resident at the Hampton Special Care Center in Tumwater, Washington. While in his care, Betty became aggressive while being given a shower, something common in a setting like this with Alzheimer's patients. Mr. Redd responded by slapping her leg and arm, spitting on her face, spraying water from the shower head into her face, and making contact with her mouth using his hand. The city will present two witnesses, Ms. Reagan Duplessis, who Mr. Redd was training that day, and Tumwater Police Department Officer Rachel Johnson. You will hear testimony from Ms. Duplessis that on April 11, 2023, she was working at the Hampton Special Care Center. She has worked in this field for a number of years, and on April 11, 2023, Mr. Redd was in charge of training her on her first day of work at the Hampton. She witnessed Mr. Redd's handling of Betty, and she will testify as to what she saw. You're going to hear testimony from Officer Johnson that on April 12th, 2023, she was dispatched to the Hampton Special Care Center in Tumwater, Washington. Officer Johnson will tell you that she spoke to Ms. Duplessis, and Officer Johnson will tell you that she spoke with Mr. Redd, who described how he responded to Betty's actions. The combined test. After hearing all the evidence, the city will have established Mr. Redd's guilt and will ask you to return a verdict of guilty of assault in the 4th degree.
Members of the jury, please give your attention to Ms. Capone with the opening statement on behalf of Mr. Redd.
On April 11th, 2023, Donnie Redd was a caregiver at the Hampton Elderly Care Facility, and he was trying his best to keep a resident safe and healthy. That day, Donnie clocked into a shift at the Hampton per usual. Betty Wood was a resident who had lost many of her mental faculties due to Alzheimer's. And Reagan Duplessis was being trained as it was her first day on the job. During their shift, Donnie and Miss Duplessis showered Miss Wood, and you're here today to determine if a crime was committed during that shower. As you hear the evidence presented to you, please pay careful attention to three things. Please listen carefully for inconsistent statements, inconsistent accounts of what took place that day. Kind of give yourself a gut check and ask if things are adding up. Please write down the questions you have as the matter is presented to you, and think about whether you have satisfying answers to those questions at the end of this trial. And lastly, please pay attention to what evidence is not presented by the prosecution. The prosecution has the burden of presenting you a case. The prosecution has the burden of proving that a crime was committed. Donnie has no duty to prove his innocence. You've probably heard about the presumption of innocence, maybe in TV shows or movies. Today, in real life, that presumption stands. Donnie is presumed innocent, and I ask you not to take that presumption lightly. In fact, Donnie is just a man trying his best, something I think we can all relate to. If, in presenting their case, the prosecution cannot convince you, beyond a reasonable doubt, that a crime occurred in that shower, you must return a verdict of not guilty for Mr. Redd. Thank you.
All right, members of the jury, this is the point in the trial where we're going to break for the day. I'm going to remind you, as I just did a minute ago, don't talk about this case among yourselves or with anybody else. And be back here in the jury deliberation room and ready to begin the evidence part of the trial at 9 o'clock tomorrow. All right, so I'll show you back, show them where it is. And, all right, have a good evening. We'll see you tomorrow.
So that's how far we get on Valentine's Day. That was yesterday. Mel's like, what? We just got started. That was Valentine's Day. That was yesterday. That happened. You realize they're Thurston, Washington. It's on the western coast, the west coast of the United States. So their time zone is Pacific time, and so it happened late in the evening.
Is there anything we need to address before we adjourn for the day from the city?
Your Honor, I'd just point out they might want to take a break between the state's first and second witness, depending on how long direct and cross take. I think there'd be a good time for a natural break. It would also allow, I'm not going to have staff available tomorrow to help facilitate bringing in and out. I'm going to have to do it. And obviously I have to be here for any of that. So I would just ask for maybe taking either a recess at that time or giving the state a little bit of leeway to walk in and out witnesses.
Yes, to go bring the witness in.
Morning break for the jurors anyways.
Thank you.
That'll, I'm sure, dovetail in nicely. So. All right, anything from defense?
Nothing to address at this time.
Okay. All right, Mr. Red, stay in touch with your attorney. If anything comes up, let her know. And we'll see you here tomorrow morning.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
There's nothing substantive that happens from here on. Even though it's a hot mic, it's just zippers and papers and mumbles for the rest of the time. So we're no, that's not a prank call. Let's see what this
Call
is.
from
Braxton.
Hello, Braxton. Are you there?
Hey. Yeah. I am here.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. I was wondering, what is your thoughts on the voir dire that just happened?
Honestly, I think the defense, their tactic was to go deeper into the stuff the judge covers, which is, can you be a fair juror just in general, was a weird choice. I think defense did a very good job asking the questions, especially leading them to the point where she would have grounds to say, we need this person dismissed for cause. I think she did a good job at that, but man, I think she should have led with more hypotheticals so that would have been closer to this case, specifically because the questions and the answers that everyone gives in voir dire, that weighs on people's minds, the jurors' minds. They're like, oh, that's what people think. They're listening, and as some people say, yeah, I agree that way, then other people are like, oh yeah, I do as well. So I think she should have opened with information about a hypothetical situation involving a patient that has Alzheimer's or dementia that's combative. It doesn't make it right, and the facts is what the state said. This sounds terrible. Okay, it sounds like it sounds wrong, but that's what the state is supposed to make it sound like. That's their job to prove it. In a more general sense, I love just being able to watch this on camera. Oftentimes, this happens outside the purview of us, as it happens, without the cameras present. But what was your take on it, Braxton?
I found it. I agree with you that they should have asked more hypotheticals, especially when the answers they were receiving from the jury or potential jury was so skewed in the direction of the prosecution, it feels.
Yeah.
Feels like there were a lot more people more sympathetic to the prosecution than the defense.
I think we saw by a show of hands that I think the majority of the potential jurors had some sort of family connection with somebody who's had Alzheimer's or dementia. And so there is that connection. Everyone's like, yeah, my great grandmother. I remember going and visiting my great grandmother. She was in a home, and she thought I was my dad. Okay, she didn't recognize my dad, and I can't think of that case without thinking of her. And that I think that part of the voir dire was good, where the defense said, would you be able to look at this case just in the light of the case, or will you be thinking about your family member every time you're doing this? So,
yeah, absolutely. Like, I've been driving, so I didn't get to see the show of hands. So, it honestly just scary to me to think that, based on the sample size that we saw today,
18 people,
that people see people who are in court, who are charged with a crime, that they're immediately guilty.
That was concerning. I think there were 3 people that stated that yes, we wouldn't be here unless a crime was committed. We're just trying to figure out either how serious it was or if he was the one who did it, and that's not the case. It's not the case, but yeah, those people were all dismissed.
One of the things that stuck out to me during the Treehouse trial was in one of the chats. I think it may have been Kurt. And it's nothing against the chat. This is just something interesting that I found. Someone in the chat essentially said that they thought he was guilty because he had an air of guilt around him.
Like they read his aura?
Seemed guilty.
Yeah. Like, that's a bit much.
Right?
We're supposed to base it based on evidence. Now, I realize jurors can get an impression from somebody. Like, somebody could be sitting on the stand there like, I just don't like the vibe. I just don't trust him. And they're allowed to disregard that testimony. Not sure reading auras, that I'd put that right up there with, consulting a tarot deck or something to see who should I convict on this one. Yeah, interesting there.
Yeah. So, yeah, I thought it was definitely interesting. I mean, and with the verdict from the Crumbly case, the verdict from the Treehouse murder, like, all of these things are just ever so slightly worrying.
It's it makes me wonder, what would I do if I were on one of those juries, right? It's it can happen. I don't know. I've never once, Braxton, I'm not sure. Have you ever had a letter to serve on jury duty?
I have not, but I'm hoping to get one.
I have hoped for one my entire life, and I have yet to receive a single one. And every day there's somebody that'll text me on the burner phone. It's like, hey, I just got someone, grand jury, just got, I don't know how you guys do it. I've registered to vote since I was a kid, but since I was 18. So I don't know why, but yeah, interesting, Braxton. Thank you for your questions and thoughts there. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Yep.
And also, I don't know if you saw my text.
I did.
But your package is in the mail.
I'm super excited. My son is also super excited. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Awesome. You're very welcome.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Also had a package we opened. Mrs. R.A. and I opened a package from Tammy in North Carolina. Tammy, thank you. I will say Tammy sent me some shirts that she put a logo on, and the RA logo with the courthouse, and they look amazing. And my absolute favorite one is the light. It's a very light green. And I turn into a ghost if I wear it on set. If I sit here in front of if I go like on this camera right here, you just see there's a wisp of me here, and you just see the courtroom through me. I might wear it one day. You never know, but I'll have to get that. The key has to be changed. Anyway, thank you very much, Tammy. There was a lot more than shirts in there. I appreciate that. Some chocolate, some treats. It was really good. Yeah, I was a kid at 18. 18 was young. I guess I matured late. All right, so we have approximately 3 hours until we go live with the court case, which I believe will be done today. Now, it's possible if they have some long witnesses that it's going to stretch a little bit late into the evening. I hope that is not the case because, as always, I have a meeting tonight. Oh, Valerie Ivy's on the phone.
Call from
Valerie Ivy.
Hello, Valerie. This is RA. How are you doing?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
I just wanted to call real quick. I know I have a gravelly voice. I can't help it. I've got thyroid stuff. So
you're good.
Anyway, I wanted to call real quick because I sent you a text message with a Sarah Boone document attached yesterday. I don't know if you got it.
I may have. Is that the one
That's okay.
Designating the police officer as?
Yes, the detective onto their Brady's list.
Yes.
I didn't know if you had a chance to talk to any lawyers to figure out what that means.
I think it means, if I understand correctly, I think that means that they're going to insinuate that she did something improper. That there was
I'm trying to figure out what it would be
of improper police work involved.
Yeah, I'm just curious because I was reading that could also be just that she didn't turn over some part of discovery as soon enough or something. So, yeah, I don't know. All right. That was it. I just wanted to speculate on Sarah Boone.
Yeah, we're keeping a close eye on that one. I think a letter is forthcoming. I expect it probably within a week from Sarah Boone because you can't have a major change on her court case without a letter coming into the judge. So hopefully that'll happen here soon.
And her new lawyer is a hard ASS. I hope that she gets her.
I just wanted to get a day in court. Is it that hard to get a defendant to trial? Man,
it is when you have Sarah Boone. Anyway. All right.
Anyway,
thank you.
Fun. Thanks, Valerie. Appreciate it. Bye. Weather Watch. I am as I text right now, as we speak, I am texting my meeting to let them know I'm not available tonight. Here's what happened, Thomas. I was going to have a meeting yesterday, but then they're like, "Oh crap, it's Valentine's. I can't do that. I'll push it a day," and I never responded, but I'm responding now. I am. Here we go. Let's do this. Unavailable tonight, as I will be hosting the widely renowned podcast, which bears a unique name, which is not relevant. Is that a good? I think that's. Does that? I'm unavailable tonight as I will be hosting the widely renowned podcast, which bears a unique name, which is not relevant. Did I red pen? Is that? If you can just correct my my texting. Does that make sense? Is what I'm asking. Just catching up. That case chase was in my area and made big news. Crazy. That was a crazy chase out there up by Dayton, Ohio. Let's see, Pickles update humbly. Pickles is doing well. My kids did not feed Pickles last night, which they will wake up long before I want to get out of bed, and they'll run and feed Pickles. They want to be the first one to feed the cat. So they'll feed the cat first thing in the morning, and they did not feed the cat last night. But this is not a bad thing because they did feed the cat yesterday afternoon. We feed morning and evening with the cat. And in between, he hunts wild things in the yard. And so they didn't feed the cat. And the cat let me know by jumping up into the little crystal window. I forget what they call it. It's our oval window that you've seen the pictures, and was meowing at me through the window, like through a kaleidoscope. And so I went out to feed the cat. The cat was fed, I believe, like canned chicken. I don't know. My son fed him, I think it was tuna fish, and maybe some canned chicken. I don't know what it was. And during the day. And also, fun update, if I can, Purple Haze, but we're still talking about my cat. My youngest son also has trained the cat that it should only drink water out of water bottles. It drinks Deer Park water, and only while you're pouring it for it. And you have to pour the water. It drinks moving water only. It does not drink out of a dish. But he will train it, and he will sit there and he'll pour the water, and the cat will drink it out of the bottle. I don't know why he did that. I'm not a big fan of that, because it means that the cat gets most of my water, because it spills a lot. But that's what happens. There's your update on the cat. If only I could paste memes in chat. It's probably better that you can't at this point in time, Thomas. Maybe you can share them tonight on the podcast, which I will be there for, because I will not be at another meeting. I missed what Red Pen's response was. Am I good to click send on this? On this message to cancel my meeting tonight? It sounds good to me. Okay, we're good. To sign it here. Yours truly, forever and always. What do you say in a business? How do you end a business text? Zoop. All right. There we go. Just you reuse the same bottle. If that would be easy. That would be easy to do. But no, my cat does not like tap water. Tap water is not as good as Deer Park water. It's actually good for the cat to drink the water. Now he's spoiled. Get a cat fountain. There's a cat fountain. Apparently, forest cats like drinking from fountains. Cat fountains are the best. I assume a cat fountain recirculates the water. I don't just have to constantly be spending money on water, right? Now I have to research a cat fountain. Okay, cat fountain rocks. I've got lots of one more thing. My daughter has said, "Dad, we need to get some kitty litter." I said, "Why? We have neighbors' yards all around us that the cat uses exclusively, which I'm a fan of. I'm perfectly fine with." But she's like, "No, because when it's raining, Kiki or Pickles doesn't like to get wet." And so he needs a place with kitty litter up on the deck where he can, do his business without getting wet. And I said, this is a great idea, but there's a flip side to getting the kitty litter, and that is somebody has to scoop the poop. And she said, without batting an eyelid, "I will." I'm like, well, that gets rid of my argument against it. But yeah, that's where we are. Okay, we have Judge Boyd is in session right now. We're going to jump over to her case really quickly because we've got some time.
57A, State of Texas versus Bridget Adams. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
And so just call the case.
Defense.
Joseph Uphelt.
And are you Bridget Adams?
Yes, ma'am.
Going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision, and state's motion to supplement pending motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes. Yes, sir.
I mean,
Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Did you review it or no?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Are you the same Bridget Adams who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 557A for the offense of endangering a child on December 8th, 2021 for a period of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. State.
Sorry. Your Honor. Violated condition number 5. In Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Bridget Adams, did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of June 2023, July 2023, and August 2023 in violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
And Your Honor, the state will waive and abandon the other conditions.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility, and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is a proposed agreement, Your Honor.
And what are you requesting, state?
The proposal, Your Honor, would be revocation, adjudication of guilt, an affirmative finding, and essentially, if I have the days right that counsel had provided, it's 300 plus days of time served credit with potentially inpatient treatment, if that time would be counted, would almost equal the 2-year timeline for the state jail, Your Honor. So it's essentially revocation, adjudication of guilt, affirmative finding, and essentially a time served given the time that this individual has spent. That's the proposed agreement, if I'm stating everything correctly, counsel.
That's correct, Your Honor. And if I
An
may,
affirmative finding?
This is an endangering, Your Honor.
But that wasn't requested as a part of the plea bargain agreement.
Okay.
And I didn't find an affirmative finding of family violence beforehand. If you all are agreement to that there be an affirmative finding of family violence, of course, I will go with that.
we would prefer not, Judge.
That's absolutely fine, Your Honor. We're happy to waive and
All right.
And I wasn't part of the plea originally, Judge. I was not aware that that was not part of it. However, I think we're in agreement that it will not be a part of this.
that goes for the
agreed
state,
rec.
Your Honor. Absolutely.
Okay.
And if I may, Your Honor,
Yes.
my information is that Ms. Adams has 336 actual days jail credit. Did complete SafeP successfully at 286 days at SafeP, and we're asking for that total of 622 days being for her to be given credit for the total 622 that she has been in custody in one way, shape, form, or other, and to go along with our agreed recommendation and have this as a JSAT.
All right. So they're saying that I'm reading any objection to the court reading the court reporter, I'm sorry, the probation officer case review?
The court summary, Judge? No.
Okay. So it says here that she left the dorm and never returned. What's that about? Do you want to address that?
Yes.
Just 1 second. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
My name is Bridget Adams, ma'am.
All right, so why did you leave the dorm?
Yes, ma'am. At the time, I was in my addiction, and I left, and I went and got high. But may I say, ma'am, as of today, I've been clean of 8 months, and I also have a job waiting for me, and I will be staying with my mother and father if I get released.
I don't think she's getting released.
The reason for the leaving of the dorm, Your Honor, was an outside influence with a person that she was involved with, who she was no longer involved with, is my understanding. It's been reported to me by Ms. Adams, and her successful sober time period of 8 months, as she reports to me, is because she was no longer with that person and does not associate with that person. That, and with the support of her mother, is where she is relying upon to remain sober. She has not picked up any new offenses either.
I don't think she's in jail.
And she does say she does have a job waiting for her through a friend of hers who was a manager at at Whataburger.
I got a package today. 6 more
She hasn't
cables.
really been successful
She hasn't.
on probation. And her sobriety for the 8 months, is that because she was in custody?
No, ma'am.
No, the time in custody was spent prior to her being picked up on this MTR, Judge, is my understanding.
Okay, so I don't know if she was clean and sober or not. We're just going by what she's saying.
If I may, Judge.
Sure.
My mother can attest to it. If need be, I have not touched methamphetamines or anything in 8 months. I actually am engaged and I am trying to settle down and I'm trying to do better. Yes, I know I have not been very, what's the word?
Good.
Compliant. Yes, thank you. I know I haven't been very compliant, and yes, I know my actions do not show that I've been compliant, and I very much apologize because you have been gracious with me. But I am asking because I have been sober, and I do have a job waiting for me, and I do have a mother that is waiting for me to come home, and she is very ill right now.
All right, so here's the thing. I always tell people, don't play the illness card on me with the parents. And the reason why I say that is because
It doesn't work.
one, she doesn't need stress in her life. And you're not doing well on probation has caused her stress and contributed to exacerbating her illness. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So when you say you are engaged now, what does that mean?
I have a fiance at home, and he's also working, and he's been helping me stay sober. He's been sober for 5 years now, ma'am.
Okay. And did anybody know this?
She's not
State was
impressed.
unaware.
I'm not inclined to just let her skate on probation and get 2 years and have that be a judgment satisfied. So here are your choices. I'm giving you two choices.
Okay.
One, I can find you guilty and place you on regular probation. Or two, I'll give you the 2 years, but you're not getting credit for inpatient treatment time. So which do you prefer? And if I give you probation, according to their recommendation, you're going to state ISF. So I can revoke you, sentence you to 2 years. You're not getting credit for your inpatient time. You'll get credit for your jail time. Or I can place you on regular probation, which would be a felony conviction, and you're going to state ISF. Which do you prefer?
Maybe ask them down to visit judge so I can discuss with her.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was, honestly, I think she thought she was going to just walk there. The judge says, no, that's not going to happen.
Who is here on Ray Abaye?
Matthew Harris, my friend, how are you doing? How are the judgments treating you lately? Have
Good
they all been in
morning.
your
How are you
favor,
doing?
hopefully?
How are you?
All right. I see you survived Valentine.
It was uneventful. In fact, I spent yesterday evening at my house waiting for the alarm company to show up. So yeah.
So you were not on the 13th at midnight getting married?
No, I was.
Okay. All right. What is happening with this case?
Judge, this is a sentencing for today. You did a quick reset to get sort of a preliminary PSI done.
Here we are.
Because his mother had passed away and the mom's funeral is coming up on the 27th, although that might be being delayed a little bit, he told me today.
All right. I was looking at his wrong file. I guess that's the case that's being taken in consideration.
Okay.
All right. Let me look here just 1 second.
Sure.
Okay. We're going to switch to camera 3. It was almost seamless, right? Did you even see it happen? Camera 2 is going to go. Does anyone know?
We're going to go on the record in 2023 CR 9950, State of Texas versus Ray Abaye Jr. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense.
John Coons from Metro Bahia.
And are you Mr. Abaye?
Yes, ma'am.
You entered a plea of guilty on February 5th. According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is opposed to your application and they're taking in consideration 2024 CR 0986. And the court had the facts of the case and both parties agreed to make sure that the sentencing is heard as quickly as possible, that it would be a slimmed down PSI.
Yes.
So the PSI that I've received, counsel, have you had a chance to review it?
I have, Your Honor.
State, have you had a chance to review it?
I'm reviewing it now, Judge.
All right. Any objections, defense?
No objections.
All right. Defense, do you have any witnesses?
No, just my client, a little bit.
All right. Do you want to call him?
Sure.
All right. Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you
Richard
solemnly
Chambers,
swear or affirm
welcome.
the testimony you
Welcome
give
to
will
the
be the
gallery.
truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
My name is Ray O'Brien.
All right. Defense?
Thank you, Judge.
Ray, unfortunately, as we've discussed with the judge, your mother recently passed away. Is that correct?
Yes.
How long ago was that?
She passed away about like 4 weeks ago.
And you were locked up at the time?
No, I was out there with her.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you've been incarcerated more recently. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, your mother's funeral is supposed to be on the 27th.
27th, yeah.
Is that, but you're telling me that it might be delayed a little bit?
Yeah, we're just trying to figure out what's going on.
What's going on with you?
Yeah, with me, yeah.
Okay, so your family is waiting to see what happens
Yeah.
today, but more than likely it's going to happen on the 27th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, Ray, you and I were going through the PSI a little while ago, and I was pointing out your criminal history.
Yes.
And unfortunately, you have been arrested a lot.
Yeah.
And you have struggled with substance issues for a long time, haven't
Yes,
you?
sir.
How old were you when you started using drugs?
Like 13.
All right. And how old are you now?
I'm 38.
30?
38.
38. Okay. So you've struggled with it for about 25 years?
Yeah.
But more recently, you've been sober.
Yes.
How long ago were you able to kind of get away from drug life?
It's been like 2 years now.
All right. Now, if the judge is nice enough to put you on probation, are you willing to be tested every week?
Yes. Anything I can do to prove that I'm changing and I'm sober.
And if you did start testing positive for some reason, if you did relapse, you'd be willing to go to rehab if that's what the judge decided. Is that correct?
Yes, but I think like I'm good enough with myself that I know I won't be able to come. I won't come out there at all.
Now, Ray, where would you live if you got out of jail?
I'm with my mom's boyfriend, which is my father-in-law.
Or your stepdad?
My stepdad, yeah.
All right. And is that here in town?
Yes, sir.
Out by
Stepdad sounds
SeaWorld?
better than mom's boyfriend.
And then do you have any plans to get employment?
Yeah, I already have something lined up down the road because I don't have a vehicle, so I could just walk there and walk back home.
So when you say down the road, you actually mean literally down the
Yeah.
street?
It's like about a block or two.
At a restaurant?
Yeah, a restaurant.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to tell the judge about why you think you should be given probation?
Yeah, I just feel like now at this point in my life, I'm older already. I'm tired of going in and out of the system. I feel like I changed my ways, especially with the drugs and everything like that. And I feel confident in myself and to show everybody I can do better, and I feel I can do better.
Okay. I have nothing further, Judge.
Any questions?
Mr. O'Brien, my name is Nate Wilkins. I'm one of the prosecutors here. So if I ask you something that you don't understand, just let me know and I'll try and rephrase it. So this is that PSI. Did you go over that with Mr.
Yes, we went over it.
Y'all talked about it a little bit. Okay.
All right, make sure y'all are not conversational because it's hard for the court reporter.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No
So
problem.
Diana's trying to type up everything I say, so I cut you off there. I'm sorry about that. But y'all, you and Mr. Kuntz looked this over, right?
Yes, we do.
And does this pretty accurately represent your criminal history here?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So do you remember being on deferred adjudication back in 2003 for this unauthorized use of a vehicle?
Oh, yes.
And it doesn't look like you were successful.
Yeah, that like I was saying, like I still had my issue with drugs and everything like that. That's what I'm saying. Like now the way I am, I feel like I'm confident. I'm changed, you know, and I can do it. Show the system that I can be better and do better.
Okay. So, and I guess that would be my question is, that's what you feel like is different this time than back
That's
then?
what I was telling Mr. Kuntz that I'm willing to do whatever y'all need me possible to prove to y'all that I can come out clean and I can show y'all I can be a changed man.
Okay.
If I do get probation, like I'm willing to work with the system. I mean, whatever situation it is, or to prove to y'all that I can do it.
And were you still having those same type of problems when this offense happened in August of 2023?
No, this was just gone. When I was the first one that because I was taking care of my mother and it was like nobody was there, so my issue was to try to stay just to take care of her.
Okay. So you weren't having as many problems in August?
Yeah, I wasn't doing drugs or anything like that. It was just the issue of like being there for my mom. So my choice was that's why I made that decision.
Okay. Okay. I pass the witness room.
Any further questions?
No, Judge.
All right. May I ask a question?
Absolutely.
All right, Mr. Abaye, your criminal history is a lot. And it seems that you're committing the same type of offenses over and over.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out what you have learned.
Well, the issue, like when I was saying, I just barely like had the issue with my mom. She would always tell me like, "What's gonna happen to you when I'm like, what are you gonna do when I'm gone?" And I never really thought that over until these past couple of years when I had been taken care of, and I really saw what I was doing wrong and what my issue was. So that's why, like for the past 2 years, I did come out clean for her, and I was doing right for her, and I did everything I can to stay with her. Like I didn't work or nothing, but I was there with her, taking care of her to her stroke, her heart attack, and hospice. I was there. I was the one there taking care of her, and it made me think about what I've done in the past. So I feel like it made me a better man, knowing that I feel like I will be better off out there than in the system. Just to show you, like I can be a better person, and that's the way I feel. Like I know the issue back then was I was young and I was on drugs, and I really didn't think about nobody else but the drugs. And seeing what, like I lost my father, and then I lost my mother, and I have no parents. So I have my brothers and sisters, but they weren't there for me like the way my parents were. So now I have an obligation to show, and not to show them, but to prove to them like I can be a better person. Now that I lost my mom and my father, and I feel like the way I can do that is be clean, and I was clean, and I did everything I could to be there for like my family, and everybody usually comes to me like for support, like for taking care of somebody or being there to help somebody out, or anytime like there's an issue with the family, we always come together, and they're all like I'm the one they come to. So that's why I feel like in the past 2 years I have changed, and I think I can do better. And that's why I was saying, like, I'm here to show the state, like, I can do better, and I feel I will do better. Whatever issue it is, like, to make it harder for me to show y'all, like, I can be clean, I will do it.
Okay. All right, Mr. Abaye, I want you to know that I took into consideration everything that you've said to me, and I reviewed your criminal history. You're just not a good candidate, right? But I know that you've been working on things and you've been trying things. So I'm going to find you guilty, and I'll sentence you to 1 year in the state jail facility. I'm going to give you credit for any time served. I'm going to take in consideration 2024 CR 0986, and I'm going to request for you the therapeutic community. It doesn't increase the time that you're at the state jail facility, but if there's a drug issue you have, or if there's a mental health issue you have, or some type of trauma you have, they will be able to help you address that. So when you come out, you can continue on the track that you say you're on. You understand? All right.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yeah, we saw. I think it was the last time we went through it.
All right, because that's a plea. This is a plea bargain agreement. Because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. So you say you're going to make your life better for your mom, then you need to follow through on that. You understand?
Yeah.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
And you know, she cut 6 months off your sentence by doing it, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge. Appreciate it. Take care, Ray. Good luck.
All right, RC Curtis is on the Zoom. All right, Mr. Curtis, you need to share your video.
Mr. Curtis, if you don't jump on Zoom here quick, we're going to jump over to Judge Cedric.
Mr. Curtis, you need to share your video and you need to unmute. You want to call your... here he is.
Calling twice. Oh, we just about bailed. Mr. Curtis, just in time.
The oil fields of West Texas.
Okay.
Okay, there you go.
All right, thank you. So where are we on this case?
Judge, we have filed motions for rehearings that haven't been ruled on. So that's
All
the
right.
status of that's where we're
Yeah.
That's from Ms. Dana Jones, counsel for Mr. Curtis on the appeal.
All right. And Diana, you know where this is coming from, where they're waiting for an answer? The 13th Court of Appeals. So do we have any idea?
I do not.
All right. I'm going to recall this for 30 days. And we'll see where we are.
Yes, Judge.
And
Yes,
then,
Your Honor.
depending on what happens, it's going to be a quick turnaround for a jury trial. All right. Ms. Ferguson, I need a 30-day reset on Mr. Curtis.
Okay, we're going to bail on this and jump over to Judge Cedric, see what's going on in his court.
Need to unmute Mr. Haynes. Yes, Victor Hayes. No, wrong person. Not you, Mr. Hayes.
Yes, Ellington Haynes. Sorry about that.
Thank you. No, it's all right.
Wrong
All right, what are we doing?
Your Honor, Mr. Haynes is going to waive his right to a preliminary exam.
All right. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
You understand that a preliminary examination is a proceeding where the people have to show by probable cause that the offense alleged was committed and that you committed it.
Yes.
You understand that you'll not have that hearing and you'll proceed to circuit court for further resolution.
Yes.
People also waive their right.
Yes, Judge, thank you.
Preliminary examination having been waived, defendant is bound over to circuit court on a single count. Ms. Parody.
Your Honor, we acknowledge receipt of the information, waive reading, and stand mute.
Defendant having waived from a reading, standing mute, court will enter a not guilty plea. Pretrial will be set for
February 26th at 1:30 before Judge Slay Monday.
February 26, 2024, 1:30, Slay Monday. Bond continued.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Davis, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, we got you now.
I got scared.
Pardon?
I got scared when everything went mute for that long.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we knew you were there. We just couldn't hear you.
Okay.
Okay. So, Mr. Davis, is it counsel? Oh, there you are. Mr. Davis, I think where we left off is that you're going to plead no contest to the charge of malicious destruction of property, 200 to 1,000, the 1-year offense. And then that counts 1 and 2 would be dismissed.
Okay.
Is that what you want? Is that what you want to
He's
do?
like, whatever. I'm not sure if he's
Yes, Your Honor.
mentally.
Okay. Can you raise your right hand for me so I can swear you in? All right. You solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, Your Honor. I do.
All right. All right. State your name again for me.
Jeff Davis.
All right. Mr. Davis, it's this court's understanding you're going to plead no contest to the charge of malicious destruction of property, 200 to 1,000. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year incarceration, a $2,000 fine plus court costs. The fine could be increased to 3 times the value of the property taken. If that's greater than $2,000, that would become the maximum fine. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Do you understand what a no contest plea is?
Am I getting more time?
Pardon?
Yes. Guilty.
Do you understand
Guilty.
what it is?
Yes.
Okay. Let me explain 2 things because I need to make sure you understand. The first thing you need to understand about a no contest plea is it means that you're not further wanting or desirous of contesting this charge. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. The second thing you need to understand is that for purposes of sentencing, the court is going to treat you the same as though you had pled guilty. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You have any other questions regarding a no contest plea?
No, Your Honor.
All
The
right.
nursing home trial
Basis
in,
for
in
it is-
Thurston is
Lack
going
of
to start in
memory.
about 2
All
hours.
right. So, Mr. Davis, to that charge of malicious destruction of property, how do you plead?
No contest?
Thank you. Now, you understand that by pleading no contest, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Because of that, you're giving up certain rights. You're giving up your right to call witnesses to speak for you at trial or to have this court compel their attendance. You understand that, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
You
I
understand you're
think he
giving
does
up
have
your
an
right
attorney
to see,
present.
hear, and question all witnesses against you at trial.
She's just in the courtroom.
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand you're giving up your right to be a witness for yourself or to remain silent and not have that silence used against you.
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand you're giving up your right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You also understand that you're giving up your right to appeal of right.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You are not on probation or parole at this time, are you?
No. No,
All
sir.
right.
No.
Okay. Has anybody promised you anything other than what I've stated here today on the record to get you to plead no contest?
No.
All right.
No.
Anybody threaten you or coerce you?
No, Your Honor.
All right. You're doing this voluntarily and of your own free will?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Counsel, the court has been provided and has reviewed Northfield Township Police Department report for their case number 21-5408. Any objection to the court having reviewed that report?
No, Your Honor.
On a review of that report, the court does find that there is a sufficient factual basis in which the court could determine the defendant's guilt of this offense. Counsel, have I complied with the court rule?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Court will accept the defendant's plea of no contest to count 3. Counts 1 and 2 are dismissed. Mr. Davis,
Yes, Your Honor.
anything you want to say before I impose sentence?
No, Your Honor.
All right.
The very way that the judge is
Sentence of the
talking to
court,
him
statutory
concerns me.
fees of $125. I'll sentence the defendant to 274 days incarceration, credit 274 days.
So he got time served.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. Have a
All
nice
right.
day.
You take care.
You too, sir. Your Honor.
Court calls case People versus Christopher Wainwright.
Joy Gaines, Senior Assistant Public Defender, with and on behalf of Mr. Wainwright. Sir, would you please state your name for the record?
Christopher Wainwright.
Okay, what are we doing?
Your Honor, at this time, Your Honor, we are asking for the matter to be set for preliminary examination.
Does discovery complete?
That is my understanding.
Witnesses be available on the 27th?
We'll try our best, Your Honor.
We'll try our best, which means they might not have
Preliminary
witnesses.
examination will be set in person, February 27th, 2024, 9 a.m. before Judge Barr. Bond will continue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Zoom. This next one.
Yes. The rest are on Zoom.
The rest. So no more in custody coming that way. Court calls case People versus Mark Rassman.
On behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm Roger K. Green. On behalf of Mr. Mark Rasmussen, Your Honor, appearing by Zoom.
Rassman, can you state your name?
My name is Mark Rasmussen.
All right, what are we doing on this case?
Your Honor, we're asking for an exam date of March the 5th, if possible.
March 5th?
Yes, sir.
Trying to pick your own day?
No, Your Honor, but I'm not available for the 27th, that's all.
Okay. I just don't let people do that, but I'll let you do it.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Discovery is all complete, sir?
Yes, sir.
And the people would have their witnesses available March 5th?
Yes, Your Honor.
Preliminary examination will be set in person, March 5th, 2024, 9 a.m. before Judge Fresh Hour.
The Thurston
Thank you
case
very much, Your Honor.
is on a 2-hour snow
Thank
delay.
you. Bond will continue. Well,
Thank you.
hold on. Wait. Go ahead.
I did receive
I'm still here.
both notes from an intern as well as a supplemental police report as to jail calls by this defendant. My understanding is that the defendant has been contacting the victim. He has been doing so not only from his own PIN, but he has been using other people to contact the victim as well.
They will find you. They will find
Particularly
you. They will
his
find you.
mother, as well as the victim's mother. I am concerned at this time that this conduct is continuing and it will impact the victim's willingness to appear for an exam. So I would be requesting that all of his jail calls for this be revoked.
Your Honor.
Any response, Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mark's not a fan of that.
We have information that the victim and her mother have repeatedly tried to contact my client's family, and I have told them and him in no uncertain terms, have absolutely no contact with her family. So there's absolutely nothing, absolutely
You
not
got
true.
jail calls.
They have been trying to contact him and his family.
But
Jail calls go
Mr.
one
Green,
way.
they have the calls going out from your client to those individuals from the jail.
Roll the tapes.
No.
So I understand what you're saying.
No,
but
that's not true. That's not true. I contacted my mom, and my mom told me about whatever happened with her mom and her contacting her, but that's not true.
I've told my client and I've told his family have no
that's not
contact
true.
with her or her family. None. Zero.
That is not true.
Ms. Barossa?
Play
Your
the
Honor,
tapes.
the supplemental report, which I added to a discovery packet to be released to council yesterday, because I just received it yesterday, is from the officer in charge on this case. It does indicate that the defendant has been calling his mother, but that his mother was supposed to be calling the victim's mother. There are admissions on these calls, according to direct quotes, saying that the defendant's mother texted with the victim and was talking about this case, whether or not she wanted to press charges, particularly emphasizing that if there's no witnesses that will drop the charges. The defendant interrupts her regularly and emphasizes that she's not supposed to say the victim's name on the calls. That
Got it. I got it.
That's because I'm not allowed to talk to her. My mom doesn't know that she's not allowed to relay a message.
You cannot. No. I'm going to stop him right there. Because at the time of his arraignment, he is told not to have contact either directly or indirectly. What is very clear is that this is absolutely indirect contact with the victim in the case. Defendant's phone privileges are hereby ordered revoked. Bond will continue.
Thank you, Your Honor.
He's all, what?
What?
I told you.
What? Case, People versus Tyree Osborne.
Amy Rise on 10 people.
Who? Kamud?
Yes.
this her case?
Wow.
Ms. Hammoud?
Apparently, he doesn't know what indirect means. But now
Shannon
he does.
Hammoud. Where'd she go? She's in Judge. She picked Judge Washington over me. Oh no, I'll deal with that. Let me pass it real quick. All right, Mr. Osborne, hang in there a second, okay? We're waiting for your attorney to come back.
He's like, that's fine. I'm not going anywhere.
And the rest.
She's here. Ms. Hammoud. Got it. Court recalls case people versus is it Tyree Osborne?
Amy Attorney
Rice on behalf
Hammoud
of the people, Your Honor.
It's a beautiful looking house. It looks like it was built about the same time mine was. It's got a radiant heat.
Ms. Hammoud?
Old woodwork.
Ms. Hammoud, can you hear us? Oh, you need to unmute.
Sorry, Your Honor.
It's okay.
I am double dutying, and I was just finishing up a hearing with Judge Washington.
Oh, you could have told her to wait.
Well,
Never mind.
I did. But they called
Mr. Osborne, can you state your name, please, sir? Uh-oh. He's unmuted. Mr. Osborne? We might have a problem hearing you. Mr. Osborne, can you wave your hand if you can hear me? Okay, pull your face up a little bit. I can't see if you're even talking, but I don't think I can hear you. State your name. Yeah, we can't. I'm not hearing you. Hang on a second. We still might be able to do something. What are we doing on this case today, folks?
I was just appointed in this matter on Monday, and we just submitted a protective order to this court so that I could receive access to all of the discovery. In light of that, I would need to review the information and discuss it with Mr. Osborne before we can decide how we'd like to proceed. So we're seeking a 2-week adjournment.
All right. Any objection from the people?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Osborne, I'm going to adjourn your case out to February 29th so counsel can talk to you, okay? Probable cause conference, February 29th, 2024, 9 a.m. Bond continued. Thank you.
I will prepare a video, Rhett. He'll be at the Genesee County Jail.
Mr. Osborne, you'll have to nod, but you'll be at the Genesee County Jail still on the 29th. Is that correct? Yep. Okay. He nodded yes. All right. Thank you, sir.
And I did email a protective order for release of the forensic interview that I just need Your Honor to sign. It can be linked today.
Do I have it?
To Ms. Fielding.
Osborne's out of here. He's done.
I don't see it in my file. I'll sign it once it
Thank you.
gets to me.
Thank you, Your Honor, and thank you to your staff for
Thank you.
accommodating my request. Have a good day.
Not a problem. Two. Court calls the case the people versus, is it Robin Slater?
Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Morgan Barossa on behalf of the people.
Robin Slater is
Good
planking
morning, Your
right
Honor.
now.
Tiffany Hughes here on behalf of Mr. Slater.
Mr. Slater, can you state your name, please?
Ramon Slater.
What are we doing?
I just like a short adjournment to talk with him. He has multiple cases, so I want to talk with him to discuss it. So if I could just have a short adjournment.
February 29th, 2024, 9 a.m. Bond continued.
Thank you.
Oh, hold on.
Uh-oh.
Your Honor, I do want to note that the defendant has been contacting the victim in this case. According to my intern, he has called the victim 5 times. I also have information that he has let another defendant call a victim in another case off of his PIN multiple times. So I would be requesting that his jail call privileges be revoked.
Any response from the defense?
Yes, Your Honor. I don't have anything in my discovery as noting to that. I would ask for further information before we revoke his jail calls, Your Honor.
I'm going to do it in reverse. Defendant's phone calls are hereby ordered revoked. If you wish them reinstated, then you can submit that by motion to the court.
All right.
He's like, I've had enough
Thank
of this.
you.
This was the dude who gave his pin away for some
Court
ramen.
does call the case. People versus Francesco Rufino.
Laura Willenberg on behalf of the people.
Your Honor, good morning. Joe Simon on behalf of Mr. Rufino. Mr. Rufino, will you please state your name?
Francesco Rufino.
Your Honor, in lieu of receiving the court's ruling on the people's motion to bind over, both parties are going to conditionally waive the right to preliminary examination. As we have reached.
Conditionally waive it?
Yes.
No,
If
no conditionally.
if I could just go a little further, I think the court will understand. Because both parties have achieved, the parties have achieved a plea agreement and sentence agreement under People versus Killebrew. But for should any reason the circuit court not adopt or complete that agreement, we've agreed to remand the matter between the parties, have a right to remand and put us back to the court for its final decision. We don't expect that event, but that is the condition.
So if the judge doesn't accept, we reserve the right to.
Okay. All right. Mr. Rufino?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct that at this time you're waiving your right for further continuation of a preliminary examination conditionally, as Mr. Simon has indicated?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you understand that that proceeding which you went through, that's a hearing, the court has not made a decision, but you would be entitled to that hearing and have the court's decision as to whether or not there's probable cause to believe that the crime was committed and whether or not you committed it. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you understand that you're waiving that right and you'll proceed to circuit court for further resolution.
Yes, Your Honor.
People also waive their right under the same circumstances.
Yes, Your Honor.
Preliminary examination having been waived, defendant is bound over to circuit court on the single count. Mr. Simon.
Waive formal reading of the information and stand mute, Your Honor.
Defendant having waived formal reading, standing mute. Court will enter a not guilty plea. Pretrial will be set for
March 21st at 1:30 before Judge Slate Thursday.
March 21st, 2024, 1:30, Slate Thursday.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, may I approach inside the information?
Yeah, we can find it.
Yeah. Yeah. Phone call privileges are going away faster than cookies off a plate. They're just being taken left, right, and center. In case you didn't know, you're not allowed to call the witness in your criminal matter. You're not allowed to call the victim in your criminal matter.
That was called the case of the People versus Michael Johnson.
Definition. You're not allowed to call anyone the judge tells you not to call, and you're not allowed to have people you know call them for you.
Morning, Your Honor. Rob J. Kill on behalf of Marcia Krasher. Mr. Johnson, would you state your name for the record?
Michael Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, do you have any objections of me handling this matter in place of your attorney, Marcia Krasher, for this morning?
I do not.
Okay, thank you. Judge, it's my understanding my client, Mr. Johnson, is going to waive up to circuit court.
Mr. Johnson, is that correct?
That was correct. However, I did meet with Mr. Ramus, and he did email my attorney. I do not believe she had a chance to read the email yet.
Okay, so you don't want to waive today. Is that correct?
Correct. I guess we
All right.
ask for an adjournment.
Probable cause will be adjourned February 29th, 2024, 9 a.m. Bond continued.
Either he's got some legal experience or he's been through the system before. He's like, no, I'm not going to waive, Judge. We'll just go for an adjournment. Who needs a lawyer? I know all the words.
Let's call this case People versus James Hall.
Judy M. Thank you for 3 months of excellent content and the addicts for being wonderful people. Thank you, Judy. Appreciate that.
Andrew Childers, appearing on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Ron. Tiffany Hughes on behalf of Mr. Hall.
And Mr. Hall is refusing to be seen today.
Well,
so
how do we feel
Great.
about that, Judge? Great.
That's it. Here's what I'll do. I'll find good cause, put the probable cause over to the 29th, 2024 at 9. And Ms. Hughes, then you can see if you can talk to him and maybe coach them into participating.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
It doesn't go well
Continue.
when you refuse to go
Or
to
cause the
court.
case, People versus William Gaines.
Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Morgan Barroso on behalf of
Good morning, Your Honor. Wendy Barnwell, P42505, on behalf of Mr. William Gaines. He's on the Zoom.
Mr. Gaines, can you state your name, please? Turn on your camera.
William Michael Gaines.
And the
You
camera.
have a camera?
Yes.
Are you dressed? Are you dressed appropriately for court?
Touch the screen. Okay, good.
There he is.
Good morning, Your Honor. William Michael Gaines.
Thank you. All right, what are we doing on this today?
Your Honor, we're requesting a preliminary exam. I do have paper discovery that I inherited from the public defender's office. I'm not sure if there's digital discovery. I would imagine so, Judge. But
when the public
I'm asking
defender's
for an
office
exam,
died, they left it to me in their
I'm
will.
looking at February the 27th.
Is discovery not complete? I'm not going to set it for exam until discovery is complete, and you can make that representation to me.
Your Honor, there is immediate discovery in this case.
There's media discovery that has not been turned over yet for whatever reason, or maybe has, but council doesn't have it.
That's correct.
Probable cause
I didn't
conference.
get
I'm
the
going to
name
adjourn
of
it out.
the. Okay, Judge.
February 29th, 2024, 9 a.m. Bond continued. You guys work out.
Thank you, Judge.
Discovery. Thank you.
Thank you. I didn't get the name of the prosecutor, Judge.
I don't know her name either. It's Morgan Barroso. Everybody knows Morgan.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you,
We
Your
put
Honor.
it in the chat. We put it in the chat for your counsel. So that you
Yes,
have
I
it.
see it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. You're welcome, Mr. Gaines. Thank you. Court calls the case, People of the State of Michigan versus Willie Morgan.
Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Morgan Barroso on behalf of the people.
Come on.
Yes,
down.
good morning, Your Honor. May it please the court, Delphia Burton appearing on behalf of and with Mr. Morgan. Would you state your name, please?
Willie Morgan.
Who does not have his hands in his pocket.
Barroso?
No, sir.
No, not you. So, okay, well, I just thought everybody knew, but we'll find out who knows. All right, go ahead. What are we doing?
Your Honor, today is the date and time set for a probable cause conference. I've just received some discovery material. I'd like the opportunity to go over those with Mr. Morgan.
Okay, how much
So
time
we
do
can
you need,
have,
counsel?
come back next week if that's okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's gonna be busy. Let's
Gonna be busy.
Let's do 2 weeks. Will that work for you?
The 7th?
Oh, I can do the 7th or I can do the 29th. He's out of custody. So whatever works for you.
Oh, 2 weeks. Oh, I'm sorry. The 7th?
7th will work?
Okay.
All right, I'll do that for you. Probable cause conference, March 7th, 2024.
Zoom?
Pardon?
Can that be by Zoom?
You'll have to fill out a form. Hopefully we'll be able to get rid of those forms soon. And then we'll just have it done our way.
Your Honor, there is one other matter that I'd like to address, if possible. I didn't get a chance to talk to the prosecutor.
That's
But we're-
Kim Barroso.
Ms. Barroso.
No, go ahead.
I spoke to her yesterday, so I do know
You
her.
did? Okay.
Mr. Morgan is required to drop once a week, two times a month. Random. The problem is he's
2
about
times per month.
he's an hour away, so and he doesn't have a license. So that. So I'm wondering why that is even a condition. The instant offense doesn't involve that. Involve any drugs.
I think actually it's probably ordered, that's part of the release supervision. So I'm not going to change that. However, what I would indicate is that the defendant may, he lives in
Rockwood.
Okay.
He's an hour away from his drug testing site, and it's a random. They just call him up. He has to drive. He doesn't have a driver's license. His mom has to take him twice a month when they just randomly call up and say, you've got to be here now. They're saying, can
In Rockwood,
we drop
Michigan.
this?
Yes.
So what I'll indicate is that the defendant may test at an approved facility close to his home in Rockwood. The best way to do that, counsel, is to
Talk to
get
probation.
an order, talk to the people at Community Corrections, find a facility, see if it's approved through Community Corrections. He'll have to release, and then it will just work like clockwork. And he gets
Is that smoke
Okay.
in Victor's?
All right, yeah, I appreciate that. Thank
all
you.
right.
Is there
Thank
like
you.
a low-hanging cloud in Victor's room? Maybe like it looks yellow, but could it be like a purple
Haze.
haze?
People versus Kenneth Hall.
Andrew Childers appearing on behalf of people.
Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Laura Perny on behalf of Mr. Hall. Mr. Hall, can you unmute and state your name for the record, please?
And turn on your camera.
Hall.
Niner bit.
Turn on your camera.
Thank you for the gift. Of
I'm having. Can you teach me how to do this? I was trying to turn my camera on for a good minute. No.
And I do.
Is that him?
I do believe that is my client. Yes, Your
I
Honor.
do believe that.
This Mr. Hall.
Okay, we know. All right. I'll let it. What are we doing?
Your Honor, I'm requesting an adjournment so Mr. Hall can review the videos on this file.
Adjournment in this matter, I'll grant it. February 29th, 2024, 9 a.m.
Thank you, Judge.
Bond continue.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. For a cause the case of the people versus Victor Hayes.
Hey, Victor, you're up.
On behalf of
No. You were here before, Victor. You had
Good
it right
morning,
before.
Assistant Public Defender Laura Perny on behalf of Mr. Hayes. Mr. Hayes.
Mr. Hayes, now we're buffering. We're waiting for the court. I'm fine. I'm here. We're good. The court is struggling. Mr. Hayes was here, and then he's not here.
Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Laura Perny on behalf of Mr. Hayes. Mr. Hayes.
No, it's their system went down. Judge Simpson's he's down for the count. Mr. Hayes hit the kill all button, and everything just went away. He was sitting there on Zoom for like an hour waiting for his time, and then he broke it. Mr. Hayes, that doubles the fine. Doubles the fine. All right, we are still awaiting live trial out of Thurston, Washington. We anticipate it's going to start in about 2 hours. Too many people on the network, possibly. We're going to have to get, what is it, Mom of 13 or Grandma of 13? I forget who we have on, who's on the internet today. We need that. We can go back to Judge Boyd. She is not broken. Apparently, San Antonio, Texas is still working. Oops, that's not her. Let's try camera 3.
23. CR 7913, State of Texas versus Mari Amanda Fuller. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
How do I just happen to get there right as she
Defense?
calls a
Louis
case?
Martinez
on behalf of Ms. Fuller.
And are you Ms. Fuller?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report and TAP evaluation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge.
All right, any objections?
Not from the state, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, you entered a plea on January 8th of no contest to driving while intoxicated. You filed an application according to the plea bargain agreement. Punishment is to be assessed at 5 years in the prison. The state is recommending community supervision. Is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, we just asked the court to accept the plea bargain, and the tap was done. It's recommending intensive outpatient. And we think that that's appropriate given the work that Ms. Fuller's put into her sobriety since this happened.
All right. And then I remembered from previous conversations that you've been keeping up to maintain your sobriety. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. I'm doing wonderfully with AA and my sponsor. I've completed all my steps. I'm 9 months sober. I'm fixing to take on my first sponsee.
Oh, just 1 second. Let me have you raise your right hand.
Oh,
Do you
We're
solemnly
gonna
swear
cheer for
affirm
her.
the
That is
testimony
awesome.
you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Mary Amanda Fuller.
All right, so what have you been keeping up with?
So I attend meetings daily when I'm not at work. I've been meeting with my sponsor weekly, and that's even decreased over the course of the last 9 months. So I'm attending my meetings, I'm keeping up with my sponsor, I'm maintaining my sobriety, I'm doing service work through AA, doing beautifully with that. I have a wonderful family in AA, very supportive.
Okay. And what service work are you doing with AA?
So I chair a meeting once a week. I help clean up. I help with all of our events that we do. We're getting ready later this year where there's different conferences, huge AA conferences. And so I've been asked to go as part of our group to do some of those things.
This is
Which
awesome.
I understand if they're out of town, I'll have to communicate and get permission. But just lots and lots of service work through them, helping out wherever I can on my days that I'm off work. And I've enjoyed it very much.
She just sounds clean.
what do you do
she
for
sounds
employment?
happy.
I've been a nurse for 13 years. I specialize in geriatrics.
Okay.
I love your TikTok channel.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. I don't have a TikTok channel. That's somebody else. That's not me.
Oh, really? 'Cause it's your courtroom.
Yes. No, I don't have TikTok. Yes.
Oh, that's
Yes.
Well, I enjoy it.
I enjoy it anyway.
No problem.
I subscribe to someone else's TikTok
people think
channel.
I do certain things and I don't. I'm just having court and I'm trying to make sure that the courtroom is open to the public.
Thank you,
because I think it's very important for
is.
people to see exactly what judges do
Mhm.
and hopefully for students in high school and college to learn.
But it's a chance to learn from other people's mistakes for sure. You're right.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to sentence you to 5 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 5 years. This is a third-degree felony. Can you tell me what the court cost is on a DWI? There's a $500 fine. That will be probated. I'm going to still require you to meet with your sponsor. And that's going to be at least one time per month. Now, if you meet with your sponsor more than that, great. But I don't want you to fall off and stop meeting with your sponsor.
Yes, ma'am.
And I
need some scissors. Hey, the internet's having problems now. Is it me? Am I the weak link? I'm still here. I show I'm still here. Man. It shows good. Is anyone else having... You know what it is? You know what it is? Everyone needs to get their tinfoil hats out. Can you guys, show of hands, can anyone still hear me? I'm not sure if this is working. Do you guys have your tinfoil hats ready? I'm still here. Okay, so court systems are systematically being taken down off YouTube. Not sure why. I have not plugged in any of the new cables. I have the new cables right here. If you look, we have 4 colors of cables that came in today. We have red, white, blue, and green, which we're going to work beautifully for this. Oh, I should have gone pink, green, blue, and yellow. That way they would match up. Maybe I can still send it back. No, we have new cables. These are audio cables, XLR. I think they're all 6 foot, 6. Yes, 6 foot cables. These are for wireless microphone receivers. And the wireless microphones are all piled up right there in those stack of boxes behind my computer. Oops, just dumped the water. Lid was on. We're okay. Internet has been wonky. I want to tell you why. But you need your tinfoil hats on to do this. I see Candace, Song Chef. You guys have your tinfoil hats. The emoji is right there. Thank you very much. Let's put those there. And let me bring this up, and we're gonna see if I can. See, is this the scary song? No, that's just the. thought I had a scary song to play. I might have deleted it. I don't know. Okay, we'll go without the music, at least for now. I can tell you why the internet's not working. Scroll. Okay, ready? House Intelligence Committee Chairman Turner statement on serious national security threat. Dateline, Washington, D.C. House Parliament Select Committee on Intelligence Chairman Mike Turner issued the following statement. Today, this was yesterday, the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence has made available to all members of Congress information concerning a serious national security threat. I am requesting that President Biden declassify all information relating to this threat so that Congress, the administration, and our allies can openly discuss the actions necessary to respond to this threat. It's classified, right? It's so classified that literally the members of Congress, they have to enter what's called a SCIF just to hear the information. A SCIF is a secure compartmentalized information room. Okay, it's literally, it's a very, very well guarded, protected thing. Yes, so everyone thinks it has to do with space, and I'm not saying it's aliens. I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's space. So no, I don't know. There might be something going on with the solar flare or something else. So explain to us outside the U.S. Vicky, have you seen what is it? Is it Independence Day, the movie? We're in the early part of that movie right now. That's the best explanation I could do. The spaceship is out there. It's trying to communicate. Right now, only the leaders know. That's why we have Space Force. So it could be many things. No, I just thought that's actually news. That's not fake, but it's actually news. I just don't know what the actual. It could be another country like this. This is one of the theories out there that Russia wants to put nukes in space. Every other week, it's aliens. Squirrel. Yes. Mars attacks. It's more like Mars attacks. Okay. Anyway, so we're going to see if we get any of the internet back up and working, but right now it's not. Which is fine because it's lunchtime right now, and I have all these things to unpack. I already opened one thing. Let me show you what it looks like. I'm super excited about this. Oh, I need to let it focus on it. There we go. So right here, focus. This is a connector, a right angle connector, so that when my camera, wow, I look really blurry. That's funny. When my pan tilt zoom camera, it has the cable that connects off the back, an SDI cable. This connects onto that and then angles it downward so that it doesn't pull on the connection and break the cable. It's not a big deal, but it also pivots. It can swing a little bit, which is good. So it helps protect the camera. We have these cables. You can see the red, white, and blue cables, which are, I got those, for, obvious reasons, red, white, and blue. They're easy to tell apart. But then I got this other one, which it has a cool feature. It's actually invisible. This is an invisible cable. When you don't want to run your cables in a certain area, you can, or you don't want them to be seen, you can just use this invisible cable, and that way it's, yeah. So yeah, we got invisible cables, and the invisible cable is the same price as the red, white, and blue ones, which is good. It's actually green. 2 more cables came today. These, I can open these because they're just staples. I don't need a scissors. No. These are both Y cables. This is very important for audio. Let's see. Hold on one second. This, how long is this one? No, it seems longer than needed. But this one here has 2 1/4-inch, so right and left, to a stereo 1/8 inch. This is going to be from my analog mixer into my switcher. And then also for the analog mixer, we have an RCA input, because sometimes I have to like bring in songs from somebody's iPhone or their MP3 player or a CD player or something like that. So we have an 1/8" audio jack, like a headphone jack, and then it goes out to an RCA, and they're gold inputs because I just like the solid connection there. So, and I got another microphone stand. So I don't know how many cables I'm up to yet, but I have a lot of cables. Who's excited about new cables? I am. I'm excited. I also will tell you that I no longer have any free ports on my switcher. All the sources are taken up. Oh, I'm blurry. No, I'm not blurry. We fixed it, Debbie. Fixed it. Okay, I'm still struggling with the internet in the background here. It's not doing what we would like it to do. So we might just go to lunch and then hope that everyone can get it sorted. Fun fact, we had Judge Manning the other day, briefly. Do you guys remember that? Let's see, where's live. Oh. Judge Wolf is live? I think that's live. Yep, he's live. Anyway, we had Judge Manning the other day, and she was having trouble with her paperwork and her computers. They were working off paper, and everyone was struggling. What happened was somebody on their staff, somebody in the courthouse, opened an email, had a file in it. The file was a virus. The virus infected their system, and it encrypted their servers. This is they're held hostage, so all the files are encrypted. The court cannot access their own systems, and the only way to unencrypt them, because they cannot hack this, the security is so good, they can't hack it. The only thing they can do is rebuild the systems and then restore from the most recent backup, which you end up losing a couple days of data, or you pay the fee, which is usually in Bitcoin, to some weird address over in Russia. So Judge Manning is currently, her court system is being held captive on a ransomware issue. Let's see. Alternate Egg Juror says, are these considered more birthday presents? Love all my addict friends. No, this is for the early March. It's actually just under a month. We have a gig on a weekend that you guys won't see. It's a private little convention that they've asked me to do audio and video for, and it required a lot of equipment and new cables, because I'm running all the house sound and the overhead speakers and the TVs out in the hall and the causeway and everything, and the sound system for choirs and pianos and everything. So I'm doing all that. Matthew Harris. Yeah, the funny thing, none of the cables I show you were for what we do live every day. Wireless cables. Yes, that's what we got. The cables go to the wireless receivers so that the mics can be wireless. That's officially how it goes. Do you have cords for your cord? I have a special cord carrier for my cord, which I'm a huge fan of. It's called a Cable Wrangler, and it puts a little bungee loop onto a little carrier, so I can carry the carrier, and it carries all the different cables with me. It's really nice. New contest, how many cables? I'll have to count. We still have to do the contest as to how many buttons we have, because we have more now. More buttons than ever before. Because now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 keyboards, 1 iPad, a phone, a soundboard, 2 switchers, a Stream Deck, an HD studio recorder. The 2 of the keyboards are on laptops. 3 remotes, 1 camera. And I think that's it. I'm not counting the PTZ camera and the remote Zoom controller. All right, let's go ahead and do a lunch. That is a good idea. Lunch. I'm all for that. Let's get that set up. So, see, where's some good lunch music? Well, here's some. Nope. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work for lunch. All right. Welsh lady just sent you an email. I will check the email out. I'll do it. I'll try to read that on lunch. Thank you very much, Welsh lady. Appreciate that. Vicky, best Bluetooth lapel for a Sony camera. Okay, when you say best and then you say Bluetooth, it definitely changes things. I don't put Bluetooth in the best category because of its limited distance. It's very prone to losing connection. I just picked up a nice Sennheiser wireless microphone that works well. I do use Rode for my Sony camera. It just works for me. The Rode Wireless Pro 2 works great. No, Ohio Mom, the gig we're talking about, the deal was I told them I didn't want to do the job. They said, we'd like you to do it anyway. And I said, if I do the job, you have to pay for all the equipment. And they said, okay, send us the bill. And so they just paid for $4,500 worth of equipment. I'm paying for the cables, but that's it. So they paid for all the wireless microphones, which is what I didn't have. All right, we're going to go to lunch. Tonight, when you go home, please hug the people you love. Smile at someone to make their day just a little bit better. And please stay safe till we go live again, which will be after lunch or as soon as Thurston starts. We'll see you guys. We'll be coming back probably in about an hour. Thanks. Bye.
Have them send someone with more experience.